Hey, welcome back to Bayou Bucks football. Harry McCulla now joined by Coach C.J. Maiden. And Coach, you coached the special teams. Let's talk about how was your performance in the first week against Tupelo?
Well, it wasn't as well as we had expected it to be because we practiced outside a lot and we didn't get inside. So we had two kickers that we were working with to kick, and we never got indoors. So we had a relative new kicker that had never kicked indoors, and we went up to Tupelo, and he had no idea what the indoors looked like, and I had no idea what he could kick indoors because outdoors we was trying to show him to kick the ball out at the 10 or the 15, but you know, with no boundaries, no walls, or no numbers, you know, was no hill there. So when he got indoors, he really wasn't as precise with his kicking as that, you know, I thought he would be, because he was a pretty good kicker outdoors, and basically that's where he kicked at. So, I mean, and when he got indoors, he wasn't as good because we got in a couple of confrontations about, I went to kick it out on the 10-yard line or inside the 15, because Tupelo had a real good returning Bobby Hill, and he was one of the best in the league last year, and we definitely didn't want to get the ball to him, and we just found ourselves kicking the ball to him. So, you know, it was kind of hard for us to get the ball on the ground, and hopefully with the kicker that we have that's going to play this week, Tupelo, he has experience, a couple years experience in kicking, and I know he'll do a much better job kicking the football, and I think that's why we really ran into a lot of obstacles, because we couldn't get the ball placed where we really wanted to.
Right, and you guys got a new carpet, and from what they were talking about, that carpet was pretty bad in Tupelo. How big is that play when you talk about the special teams, you know, just having a nice surface to kick off of and things like that?
Well, the surface is a very important part, because like in Tupelo, it's hard as a rock, and it's and as a whole, the indoor field is on concrete anyway, and if the concrete is hard and the turf is hard, the ball is, you know, it goes everywhere. But our turf, I had the opportunity to see it the first time today, and I kind of got a couple of flashbacks when I walked out there. You know, it kind of felt kind of tippy-toe, kind of easy. Basically speaking, it's a real good surface.
Did you grab a helmet?
Good job. Well, I almost grabbed a helmet. Coach Jack told me they didn't have no insurance for a person my age, so I put the helmet down.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about your background. And where is your background? You've been in this league a couple of years, huh?
Yeah, I've been in this league. This is my 7th year. I started over in Mississippi with John Forcade, worked over there with him 2 years with John Forcade and 2 years with Urban Farb. The first 2 years there, the second year we won the world title in the IPFL was called in. Then the third year we won the NIFL World Championship over there. That's when Urban Farb was there. So I've been around this league quite some time, plus I had some extensive coaching before then with the outdoor league. I coached a lot of semi-pro football, a lot of RFL football when they had the league, so I was a lot more familiar with the outdoor game, but sure. John kind of got me into the indoor game, and now I love it. I like the indoor game because it's another opportunity for guys to be able to play football, and you know, I'm all for the young kids.
Right.
Yeah,
right. What's your background, Coach? Where are you from?
I'm originally from a little small town, if you wink, you'll miss it. It's called Woodville, Mississippi. It's between Baton Rouge and Natchez. Right. I went to high school there, and I left there at 17. I finished from the Naval Academy. I went to Navy. So I got an opportunity to play ball at Navy, and I had a couple of tours in the NFL, on Kansas City's team, on the practice squad and off the practice squad. So basically why I do this, because I didn't really feel that I got the opportunity that I should have gotten, and I know how hard it is to want to do something and don't get the opportunity. So I'm fulfilling my life of trying to help these young people fulfill their lives.
Absolutely. Coach, you've been in the game for a long time. Tell me your instinct. What do you think this week as your team's coming off a little loss, disappointed, probably a game they thought they should have won? You think they're going to have a good effort against Lake Charles? Yeah,
we're very disappointed last week, of course, but like Coach Phillips said, we have a veteran ball club, and we have some new guys in there, but the new guys overall played real well. So usually when the veterans get smacked side the head, they get a little sense knocked back into them. So I think this weekend we're really going to step to the plate and play well, because Lake Charles is one of our biggest rivals, and you know, I think we'll do a real good job.
Absolutely. All right, Coach C.J. Maiden, special teams. We'll see you, of course, this Saturday. We'll be back with more Bayou Bucks football right after this message. Hey, welcome back to the show. Final minute and a half with Coach Phillips. And Coach, well, let's talk about it. Anything special that you do on a home opener, or, you know, just kind of refine things?
Well, we just refine it. I mean, we really can't worry about what it is, which game it is. We have to get better, and then we can worry about it being a home opener. Right now, I'm just interested in taking care of the mistakes that we made, and then we can start worrying about the home opener. The bottom line is we have to get better if we want to win the football game. Now, after that, guess what? It's the home opener. Right. So those are both, things of urgency, and we respect that. That's the way the game is played. But the bottom line is I think we got a lot of adults out there, and they understand that this is it's not a must situation, but we like not to be 0 and 2, and that's the case, and it's a big rivalry. So hopefully we can pull it out, and we're going to work hard tonight. We're first time in the facility, and I think it'll be okay.
Absolutely. It'll be fun, and it's Saturday. What's the kickoff time, Coach?
Saturday, kickoff is 7:05.
7:05. We'll kick it off, and yeah, you always want to play good in front of the home fans.
Absolutely.
He's Coach Jack Phillips. I'm Harry McCulla. Folks, we'll see you at the games, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Sports Talk 10. Very crowded set tonight. You know me. I'm Joe McCann, joined by a very veteran crew from the Bayou Bucks. 3 people who have been here since the beginning, starting with Nica Orgeron. How you doing, Nica?
Good, thanks.
Good. Middle linebacker Tim Betts. How you doing, Tim?
All right.
And Buckshot. Buckshot's been here since the beginning. Hey, Buckshot.
Yep.
How you doing? Buckshot, of course, he's the mascot, and joining the elite mascots. And we have Hugo the Hornet down in New Orleans. Buckshot's been down here longer than Hugo the Hornet, and trying to measure up. I mean, you got to get to the elite status like Philly Fanatic and San Diego Chicken. Buckshot's going to get there. You look like you've been working out, Buckshot. You in pretty good shape? Might put Buckshot at linebacker. Of course, the Bayou Bucks home opener is Saturday night, 7 o'clock against Lake Charles Land Sharks. So brought in Nica and Tim and Buckshot to talk about the game coming up. And last night you guys had a meet and greet with the fans. I mean,
yes,
that
sir.
Seemed like it was a lot of fun.
It's our annual meet and greet. It's where the public, it's open to the public. They can come out and meet the players. And we had a pretty good turnout, and we thought it was very successful. We also had our VIP party for our sponsors and things like that. So it was pretty fun.
So if you take a look at it from out last night, we had a pretty good turnout. A lot of fans showed up. It was an open practice. There's the kids, the fans watching the players, and guys kicking off the season. And it seems to be a lot of excitement and having a little catch there. Fans getting some autographs, getting to talk with the players. Seems like Kevin heard he was popular. Popular among the ladies anyway. Talking to him. And Tim, you were there last night. So was Clint Shake Snyder talking about interacting with the fans.
We get to come out, talk with the kids and some of their parents and stuff. And most of them, I do a little substituting around the area, so most of the little kids I know. So it's pretty exciting. They see that some of them don't know that I play football, so to see their faces is pretty, it's interesting. It's nice.
It's a real good thing for the fans. It's a great way to get everybody to come out and to see what our organization's about. The games are one thing, but we really don't get to interact with the kids, like we would during the games. And I think this is one of the ways, for them to come out. We'll have a good time. They'll have a good time, and everything will be nice after that.
So it looks like the fans are having a good time. Now you said you had a nickname for Clint.
Yes.
Yeah. We call Clint Joe Millionaire.
Yeah, I guess we're a millionaire. But the fans looked like they had a good time. Have you guys, over the past couple of years, you've seen fan support really starting to increase with this team?
Yes, sir. You start to see the same ones coming back over and over again, and it makes us feel pretty good.
And Tim, I know you were talking about, you substitute teach in the area, and some of the kids, I didn't even know you played football.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was pretty exciting. A lot of the kids, I try not to let the kids know that I play football, but once they came out last night, their eyes were big, Mr. Tim, come here, know you play ball, Simon ball, so it was pretty nice, especially the younger kids, elementary kids, they get a chance to swing on your arms and whatnot, so it was pretty exciting.
That's cool. You teach mostly younger kids in the area? So
from kindergarten to the 12th grade, so
okay,
it really doesn't
wide
matter.
range. That's
yeah,
cool.
wide range.
That's cool. But and you guys starting to get noticed a little more in the public, and when you're walking around public, hey, you're a Bayou Belle, hey, you're
Yes, sir. Being around this long, people are like, our little kids go tap their mom. She taught me at the YMCA camp or something like that. So yeah.
Now, Buckshot, you probably get recognized a lot if you're walking around the supermarket. There's not many bucks walking around. Buckshot gets recognized a lot. But, you talked about, the support, not just from the fans, but sponsors. Is that continuing to increase and ticket sales increasing?
Yes, both of those are continuing to increase, and we seem to be pretty happy with it, so.
Now tickets still available for the game
Yes.
Saturday night? Where could they just go show up at the gate and get tickets there?
Yes, you can show up at the gate. They're on sale at the box office, or you can call Ticketmaster right now, and they'll sell you some.
Okay, and that's at 7 o'clock. on Saturday night. And another thing about over at the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center, you got to practice on that new turf. You guys finally got that laid down. I know you guys have been putting in a lot of work on that. I mean, how's the turf feel?
The turf is incredible. It's pretty much like walking on your bed almost. I've had the experience of laying the last turf we had down and this one also, and this one is like 100% better. You have a slightly bounce in your step, which is good for your knees and your ankles and stuff. And practicing on it, you could tell that your step is a whole lot sharper and quicker. So, you know, we give thanks to the ownership for going out and getting us some turf this year.
I know they went out and got, I think, from a team in Atlanta that went bankrupt, and they bought it from them. Yeah. But I mean, you mentioned the you know, how it feels good on your knees and stuff. You guys had some problems with injuries last year. You think that's the turf might help you guys in that regard this year?
Actually, yes, a whole lot. We actually have cushioning on the dashboard this year. I think last year we probably was the only team that didn't have cushioning on the dashboard. So when you really came to Houma, you felt the pain. So that will help a lot as far as receivers, Kevin Hurd coming down on the board, also with Clint cushioning, where they're being more concentrated on the catch. And as far as us defensive guys, not having to worry about hitting the board with our neck or our shoulders or things of that nature.
Now, is it easier to dance on?
Oh, it's wonderful to dance on. Last night the girls got on it, and it's just amazing.
Was that the first time you'd been on it?
On that turf? Well, I walked on it a couple of weeks ago when they had it down, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so awesome to dance on, and I was bragging to the girls about it and stuff, and they got it on last night, and they felt just wonderful on it, so.
Now, it's still artificial turf, so buckshot, you still can't eat it. That's the downside. That's the way it goes. We're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about specifically the game against the Lake Charles Land Sharks. You are watching Sports Talk 10. All right, welcome back to Sports Talk 10. Joel McCann, Nica Orgeron, Tim Betts, and Buckshot, combined 9 years of experience with the Bayou Bucks sitting up here in front of me. And now, Tim, let's talk a little bit about this game coming up against Lake Charles. I mean, is this, as far as like rivalries within the NIFL, is this your best one?
I think so far as Lake Charles is concerned, yes, it had to be the biggest one as far as all the games that we play. Last year we swept Lake Charles as far as regular season, and due to circumstances and beyond our control, we lost during the playoffs. But it's a lot of guys on this team played in other leagues and schools with some of the players on the other teams, which spices it up a little bit. So pretty much Lake Charles and the Houma Bucks is a pretty hard-hitting, fast-scoring game, so it's pretty intense.
Now, there's some hard feelings from the playoff game last year that carried over to this one, or is it like more of a clean slate?
Well, actually, I don't think it's hard feelings as far as our team against theirs, because it's really like we beat ourselves, being that we had players not at the game, and being that we've been 100%, no doubt we would have won and went on to the next step. But as far as this year, we have a lot of veterans back. We have some new players also back. We had Tyrone Hughes come back this past Tuesday, so you know, everything is pretty much cranking up around here for far as this Saturday's game.
Now, you mentioned some guys that weren't with the team in the playoff. They're not even on the team this year, right?
Yeah, correct.
So, I mean, you feel overall like maybe the character and like the chemistry of the team is better?
Yes, as far as Doug, as far as at the quarterback position, accurate passer, guy in the game. I believe he threw 5 touchdowns last weekend. We have a new running back, not James Dunn, but Jarvis Dunn. I'm glad he's on our side. And our receiving core, we have a couple of other new guys besides Kevin and Clint, but those guys have been doing a good job for us leadership and helping those guys come along.
We'll take a look at some of the offense. This is from last year, but the offense, they came out last week against the Tupelo, and they played pretty well. They put 50 points on the board. I mean, normally you guys would take 50 points from the offense, right? No, you saw that was Aubrey Jones. He's a quarterback on the team. He's sharing time with Doug, as I imagine, throwing to Kevin Hurd. I mean, overall, like, how would you? I know you're a defensive guy, but I mean, how would you like evaluate the offense last week?
Last week, our offense was explosive. That's pretty much the word. As far as defense, we had to get used to a different type of game. Our offense steps on the field, and within seconds we're scoring. So it's like if you're on a lot of special teams like myself and defense, you know, you're out on the field constantly, it seems like. So, you know, we take our hats off to our offense, and it's just the defense gives a longer time to shine. So, you know, to our offense, the defense compliment them and says keep up the good work.
Now let's talk about your side of the ball, defense. You guys gave up 58 points last week, and I know the team as a whole wasn't too pleased with the way that went. But what have you guys been doing in practice this week, trying to prepare for this week's game?
As far as actually, last week we didn't have too many defenses going into that game, so we pretty much stayed base. But this week we had some extra components to the game that we added, and I believe as far as the whole around game, it would be different for us as far as on defense. As far as in the secondary, like I say, we brought Tyrone Hughes back, and that also give us some leadership back in the secondary as far as making sure our guys are lined up correct. Up front, we just made some adjustments as far as our lining, and we also brought in another linebacker also, so he's looking like he'll be a big help as far as in the middle with me also. But we go back to the weather where we don't have an indoor facility to practice all the time, and we can put it on anything, but pretty much it just goes back down to us going out there, playing hard, pretty much putting our hat to the other team.
Yeah, you take a look at some of your defense from last year. I mean, is like pressure on the quarterback and just turnovers, how key is that in a game like this against Lake Charles?
That's very important, because like anything in the game could be a turning point as far as with the crowd. The crowd plays a big part in far as the interception or a fumble. That's a momentum change. So that is very key in the game also.
You talk about the fans. That's where Nica and that's where Buckshot comes in. You guys get the fans hyped up.
Yep, we have to rile up the fans and make them be noisy.
There's a lot of some turnover with the Bucks this year. You got like 15 new players?
Yes.
15 new?
We had, unfortunately, Mike Bentley, the other linebacker, we were better known as the Firm last year. He was not back this year, but we're hopefully with David Dorsey and this other linebacker that we have coming in, that hopefully they'll fill his spot, and some other receivers we have that will fill Kenny Causey's spot also. But the receivers that we got in, and basically the new guys, high-class receivers on the field and off the field, great character guys. I have never seen no one miss a catch in practice, really. Now, our defense, as far as under Coach Phillips, we have a defense where, you really have to know what you're doing, so that could be really strenuous on new guys who haven't played in the Arena League too much. So, last game I say was probably a learning process, but this game coming up, it's all out. Everything has been corrected, so it's just do or die.
How's it working out now? You brought in offensive coordinator Joe Clark. How's that working out? Like taking some pressure off of Coach Phillips. Now he can just focus mostly on defense, and Joe Clark taking care of the offense.
I guess that's great. Sometimes the offense is so impressive that it kind of get Coach Phillips' attention all the time. He's wondering what are they doing over there, and he finds himself in their huddle a lot often. But Coach Jack, he puts a scheme together quite well, and once he's explained it, he leaves it to his veterans to get it going, and he expects us have no choice but to get it right and go forward with it.
And some turnover in the Bayou Belles too. You got some new girls on the squad.
Yes,
how's the team coming together?
13 new girls this year, 7 returning, 13 new girls. So I have a lot of rookies that I need to teach, and they're doing a pretty good job. So guess we'll find out on Saturday night, because it'll be their first game. So.
You got something special planned for the fans?
Maybe.
Good routine?
We have an awesome routine planned. I'm just going to let you know that.
You're not going to tell me too much.
No.
You gotta go with the game, right? Buckshot,
exactly.
I know Buckshot's ready for the game. Buckshot's probably getting thirsty on these lights.
He's probably sleeping, falling asleep on us.
All right, so the game is Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Lake Charles Landshark. I want to thank Nica, Tim, and Buckshot for all coming in tonight. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on Saturday night.
Sure.
All right, we'll come back. We'll talk NCAA tournaments. You guys get your brackets done? For the tournament? Yeah, sure you do.
Sure.
Or some early upsets. We'll talk about those when we come back on Sports Talk 10.
Center, and yeah, good atmosphere as always.
Those the Bushwhackers?
I think so. The Buck guys. But here's the first drive, and the Bucks cash in. I mean, Jarvis Dunn, not real big, but he's pretty quick.
Kind of like Ward Dunn, just a little running back. But he gets the job done, because good job catching out of the backfield, which you have to do in the arena.
Yeah, Doug Coleman, a quarterback. What a gun he's got. He's a good-looking player. Again, hitting Jarvis Dunn. It was 14-3 at that point. Then they play a little defense. Andre Reed.
Not the one from the Bills, though, right?
No.
Okay.
You're not going anywhere. At halftime, the Bayou Belles put on a nice little show.
To Britney Spears?
Yeah. Toxic.
kind of like the first game of the season. That was our first routine of the season. They've been working on that one for a while.
They got to work. Then in the second half, pretty tight game. You see the score, 17-13. Look at Coleman. He finds Kevin Hurd.
You heard?
I heard that. Check out the celebration.
He won't get fined for that.
Look at Martin Falson.
Where's Martin?
He was somewhere in that picture.
I didn't see Martin.
Anyway, that was not his girlfriend, by the way. Anyway, he said everybody wanted to know who she was. Just a friend of his. Anyway, Sullivan Beard, right after that, picks it off 37 yards the other way, and then the blowout's beginning. And Coleman, just for good measure in the fourth quarter, up top to Hurd again, 45 yards. The final, 43-13. Afterward, everybody's feeling pretty good about themselves.
A division opponent, one of the better teams in the whole league forever. A crucial game for us in the division after playing the way we had everything in the game from winning this game. It was a big game.
We learned the lesson in our first game that not being in shape will definitely cost you the game. And that's my buddy right here. And I tell you what, Coach Jack did a great job of getting us in great condition. And our defense played like they're capable of. Offense going to continue to put points on the board, and we just rolling from here.
13 points in an Arena League game. That's pretty good stuff. How good was this defense tonight?
It was incredible. We had very few mistakes, very few missed tackles. You know, and David DeRoche stepped up when I had to come out because of my knee and things. So, you know, this team is gelling out, you know, so I hate to see the upcoming team.
Yeah, we had a whole lot to play for. This team here beat them in the playoff. And this is my first time playing in this arena. I didn't know the atmosphere. I didn't, you know, a lot of things I didn't know anything about. And I just wanted to come out and just congratulate the whole Bucks team.
Okay, and speaking of playing here for the first time and kind of taking control, you starting to feel like this is your club?
This is my house. This is my house.
Felt good, huh?
Yeah, it's my house.
It's his house.
It's my house, baby. Built this house. Deion Sanders.
He played like it was his house.
This is my house. Yeah, actually, I was pretty impressed with him. I'd never seen him in person.
No, me neither.
Boy, he's big, moves around well, and he's got a gun.
And he's
Hi, everybody, and welcome into the Bayou Bucks show. Harry McCulla, along with the head coach of the Bayou Bucks, Coach Jack Phillips. Coach, congratulations, big man. Good win this week.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, tell me about this week. It's a lot different than last week, and I think the alarm went off and your players all got out of bed. The wake-up call went out this time, huh?
Yeah, and you know, maybe a little bit of complacency, maybe even on the coaching staff. I think we prepared well, but we don't want to blame it on anything. I'm just happy that it was a complete turnaround from what it was. It wasn't a game where we squeaked by this week. We really went in and did the things that we were supposed to do. And then the most important thing to us that we finished the game because we hadn't been able to do that in the last game. So finishing the game and not making a lot of mistakes, making sure we played the kickoff, everybody was in their lane. So I saw a lot of improvement. Of course, there's still some things that we have to work on, Harry. There's no doubt. And if we start working on them things, then we're not doing anything. Yeah,
it was a complete domination of a division team, a team that beat you in the playoffs last year, Lake Charles Land Sharks. But it was in a number of ways. Okay, Corey, you're coming off a loss. You're playing a division team. You're playing at home for the first time. Everybody's excited about playing. And
Can't
really,
go down 0-2. I mean, tons of things, Harry. You can go on. And I think because the guys answered the bell, it just shows such character about this football team. This is a young team compared to what I've been having. A lot of young guys on there, and then the leaders really have to step up and be role models for them.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. Good crowd, but could have been a little better. But we're going to spread the word, Coach, and get more fannies in those seats down the road. Let's take a look at the first half, Coach, and tell me about the highlights. And of course, you know, like I said, always more than just a football game there at the Bayou Bucks.
I think the one thing I like is when you're looking at the game, you're looking at so many different age groups of people, you know. What a nice move by Jarvis Dunn. Look at the confidence of this young man.
Dunn can go, Coach.
Well, he can go, and no one's seen what he can really do now, but he's just much better as a receiver. Of course, that's the wizard, and here's Jarvis running over somebody again, little man, 5'7", you know, maybe 175 pounds.
So out the box, you're doing good. And then your defense steps up as Reed steps up Andre Reed, not the former wide receiver from Buffalo, but your defense really showing, and Betts is there in the middle as well.
Yeah, just a total team effort on the defensive part. And I think something that got lost in this whole thing is that the Land Sharks defense one of the best in the league, and that's one of the reasons why we had some problems early, but we really got on track offensively, and it showed in the second half.
Got out the box, you were leading 14-6 early on, and then right before the half, you get the field goal. That area improved too.
Oh, well, no doubt. Chris Tupelo back for the 3rd consecutive year. Ryan Miles just couldn't beat him out of LSU, and you know. And here's my little man, Drew Emil. Didn't want him to do that, throw the football away. But the idea is that Drew's a magnet to the ball also, and those 2 young men locally, Sullivan Beard and Drew Emil, both really stepped up for the 3rd consecutive year. I'm really impressed with them both.
Yeah, absolutely. And we went to halftime, and you're thinking you got out of the box good. And talk about, you said the wizard. Of course, that's Doug Coleman, who I think impressed a lot of people. The guy's not only, he's huge, he's very athletic, he moves around well, and he's got a good arm. I mean, he's very impressive, and you said that didn't surprise you at all. It might surprise us.
Of course not. And a lot of people wanted to know what we were going to do to replace Herb Tyler, and in my thoughts, in my head, playing with this guy for so many years, you know, he doesn't have the short man mentality. Where, I mean, honestly, we would get 2 or 3 balls bat down by Herb Tyler, but we could take that because Herb was a good manager of the game. There's no doubt. But this guy is made for this league. We played together, he, I, Michael Lewis, Roger Green, a lot of the other guys. So he knows the game inside out. He's finally getting in a little shape, and he has what they call escapability. And so I'm really impressed with Doug. I already knew that, but now he's showing other people what he can do. 10 touchdowns to lead the league, only 1 interception. So not only are we going to sling the thing out there, Doug is doing a real good job of being efficient.
Right.
So I'm very happy.
Hadn't got you in any trouble, and what I like, I mean, his hands look huge. So,
yeah.
You know, a lot of times in this league, when you'll need to scramble, and guys will get hit from the blind side, fumble and that stuff. But when you do have a guy with a big hand, he can just paw it out there and then zip it out there really quick. And you talk about escapability, that's what he does. If he's scrambling, he can get it out to safety valve because he's got such a quick and strong arm.
I don't think there's anywhere where he can't throw the football on, honestly, and that's one of the things we have to just really concentrate. We want him to stay efficient, but he's a guy that likes to make things happen outside of the pocket. I think our offensive line played okay, but that was the reason why Doug had plenty happy feet. The first game, they really did an outstanding job, and he stayed in the pocket and made those throws. This time, he had to use his escapability to get outside of the pocket. So I think that's going to help him in the long run. We want to keep him safe and healthy.
yeah, that no doubt about that. Okay, so you lead at 17-6 at the break. Part of the show, we're also going to feature many of the fans, and we had Terrebonne Parish's #1 fan in the stands. He threw out the game ball, I guess. It's kind of a baseball thing, but Don Schwab was there. This guy's a former player at LSU, so he knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, Don's a good guy, man. Don's always been there to support us. I'm impressed with the fans that came out. I mean, we of course we want to pack the place, but we had 2,000 people there. They were all enthusiastic, and they'll go tell a friend, and they'll tell a friend, and hopefully we can get 2,500 in there. And then by the 3rd game of the season, hopefully we'll have that thing packed out with crazy Bucks fans like we did this weekend.
Absolutely. We're going to do our part here, but here's Martin Falls talking to the Terrebonne Parish President, Don Schwab.
Joe, joining me now, the Parish President of Terrebonne Parish, Don Schwab, who is no stranger to football. Of course, Don was a big standout for the LSU Tigers. And Don, you got to open up the season by flipping the coin out there. Tell us what the Bayou Bucks mean to home, and tell us how important it is to get fans here and make a show here.
It's very important. I tell you what, Chris and Neil Suit have done a tremendous job, about marketing this thing as a good crowd tonight, and we need more people to come out. I think this is great for the community. It's a family-oriented happening, and it's just good for the community, Martin.
You're used to playing football, but on a 100-yard field. This is a little smaller, and a young kid asked me a while ago, why is the field so short? But it really brings the action to the fans.
Well, it sure does. You're right on top of it. Plus the fact that the kids like, if the football goes in the stands, Martin, you get to keep it, man. I think that's super.
Now, you're walking around with an autographed football. Have you got many offers for it yet?
Not yet, but no, with all my grandkids over there, Martin, I can't get rid of this thing, man.
And you brought one for all them kids?
Yeah, we're going to have to swap it around houses every month, huh?
All right, Don, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Martin.
All right.
Well, that's one of the big things about those footballs. They go through, about 15, 20 footballs a game?
Yeah, and it gets up to 40 probably. But, I tell Doug, I say, throw the ball out of the stadium, and he doesn't throw, he throws it in the stadium. You know, so we're slacking about 10 right now because the Wizard is trying to make something happen with the football. So don't worry, we're going to get him to throw that ball out and try to keep him safe. But those footballs are awesome. People are always coming up to us and asking us to sign them, so they're great for people to keep as souvenirs.
It's a great fan-friendly sport. And we were talking, it's different in an NFL game. Obviously, the NFL is the highest level out there.
There's no doubt.
But this is almost like basketball that it's so intimate. You can see the guys' faces. You can tell who they are. So it's a little different. And you say it appeals to a different demographic. The girls really like this game.
Well, and that is the most surprising things. I think the kids will be kids. You know, kids will, hey, that's a fantastic athlete. Can I go meet him? You know, but the generation gaps that we have over there, it's like from 2 years old to 100 years old. There's all types of people in the facility, and they're giving away things. They're dancing and music and this festive family atmosphere. How can you not love that? And every wife of my coaching staff who don't like football for obvious reasons, because their husband always
football widow.
Yeah. So the idea is that they all like the game, and more women are saying, I never thought that game would be like that. I really love the indoor game. And so we're appealing to a lot of different people, and that's the magic of having an indoor team.
All right, we'll take a look at the second half when we come back right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Stay with us. To the show, and let's move into the second half. Coach, what would you tell the guys in the locker room? I
told them keep doing what they're doing. We went more to the 3-step on offense because we didn't think we could protect him as well as we needed to with 2 of our offensive linemen out. Of course, Jason Reeves got hurt in that game, and then Richard Griffin was hurt before the game. So the idea is that we're going with backup guys, and we wanted to make sure at least one backup guy with no depth at that point. Just wanted to make sure that we can get that thing out of there early and then allow our receivers to run. That was the only adjustment that we made offensively. Defensively, we didn't change anything. We stuck with the game plan.
All you did was dominate. There was no collapse this time as they really dominated the second half. Let's take a look at the video of the second half. And actually, they come out and made a game of it. They go right down and score. Harrison will keep right here, and suddenly it's 17-13.
And at that point, I'm very, very nervous because the type of team is a very explosive team if we could let them get on track. But, of course, here's the Wizard. And
right. The next series, you go right down.
That's right. And
Shake's not a shot catch there.
It's a character, these guys, man.
And then he goes to Hurd for the score. But look at him the way he can move around.
But he's so calm, and I think, even these guys, they're all...
Yeah, you're right.
that's a new dance move. I got to work on those dance moves with Kevin Hurd.
Right, and then 2 plays later,
what an outstanding catch. And look at the run, which is just, man. And then right here, uncharacteristic Sullivan Beard, a guy that we asked to be stronger, tougher, and he's come out and he's proven that point to us this year.
Fans were loving it. So then you just turn the game over to your defense, and they actually only had, one quarterback on their roster? Because this guy played linebacker for them.
They had another guy, but this guy down there, Lee, I know him from playing with him back in the day, and he has a cannon for an arm, but he's not a quarterback, so we're going to send the dogs, and then what a great catch.
45-yarder.
Absolutely. And Kevin is just having a ball in this offense this year. He really tells people how boring my offense was last year, and it really was.
Well, he gets to dance, Coach.
He gets to do all of those things. I'm just so happy with these guys.
And you let the clock run out. He could have scored again at the end, but the final score, 43-13. And again, just complete domination in second.
Right, and we didn't have to score it. And that had been really uncharacteristic of our football team to do something like that, to rub it in their face. We're already beating them. But I enjoyed the game. These guys will come back. And they call me they're still calling me and telling me what's going to happen. So, we got to go down there and play those guys, so we didn't want to rub anything in. We just wanted to win as best we could, and we've done that, so we just want to build on that.
After we talked to the players, and all of them said it was a complete game, and they really wanted to finish in the second half.
That was the most important thing, to finish the game strong, and not worry about the lead, just keep building on the lead and just keep pushing pressure. And that's what we try to do this week.
Okay. I think we clicked pretty good. I guess you can see that in the second half. We like I say, they stepped it up and just put some points on the board.
13 points in an Arena League game. That's pretty good stuff. How good was this defense tonight?
It was incredible. We had very few mistakes, very few missed tackles. And David Dorsey stepped up when I had to come out because of my knee and things. So, this team is gelling out, so I hate to see the upcoming team.
Of course, that was Tim Betts, the middle linebacker, and sometime fullback. How's his knee, by the way?
Well, He had an MRI today, and we'll know more about it hopefully when I get out of here. We just don't know. It looks to be an ACL, but we can't be sure about that until we have the orthopedic look at it. And then we're gonna worry about that once we find out. But of course, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna hopefully trial 10 to 15 guys one way or the other. We got to get better at certain positions, and we're going to give some guys some opportunity that no one knows about. And we got to have to replace Tim if he's hurt. And of course, we have 2 linemen, so we got to really shore up ourselves because we have 2 bye weeks out of the next 3 weeks. And guess what? We're not on the road, but we're back to back for 11 straight games. So we really got to make sure that we're healthy going into this.
Dorsey really stepped up in his presence. He did a nice job.
I think Dorsey did a good job. We're still honestly asking Dorsey to do better, especially with the mental game. We've got to make those calls. We've got to know what we're doing. And so his athletic ability never was a question to us. It's just we've got to be better at our mental game.
All right. Well, you got Doug Coleman, who's with 33.
Yeah.
Tyrone Hughes on the roster. I saw him. That's the former Saint.
Absolutely.
All-pro kick returner. Coach, I might have some eligibility left.
Well, I mean, I don't stray away from guys like yourself. And I was just telling you how buff you are, man.
Ain't no way.
If your wife is watching and she's like, let me call him right now and tell him there's no way.
No way at all.
But it's a nice mixture of older guys and younger guys. We have a bunch of 21 and 22 and 23 and 24-year-olds. And then we have a couple of guys that are leaders like Troy and Roger and then Doug. And then, of course, Tyrone Hughes.
Wow, I can't wait to see him play. You say he's got to get in a little shape?
Yeah,
Coach at Phoenix did a great job coaching that
first year. Took one of our coaches over there, Coach C.J. Maiden, and assisted him. I was very impressed with what they did down there. But it's good to see people leading us and doing better things. A la Coach Frank Thomas with the Voodoo, and then, of course, Tyrone Hughes having his own team at Phoenix. So it's always good to see quality people coming out the program.
We'll get him rolling. All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, we'll talk to quality people in the stands at the Bucks games. Stay with us right here. The show, and Coach, we were talking, we hit on it earlier about the fans. This is a participation sport for the fans.
There's no doubt. I turned around and I looked onto the field, and there was this kid kicking the ball, and I know him. He's a fan, a rack packer. And I asked him, I said, man, what are you doing kicking the ball on the ground? You're a rack packer. Get the ball up in the air. So, there's all those type of things going on, which makes the game bigger than just a football game. And then there's the bells and the buck shot for the little kids. There's babies in the game. I mean, all type of stuff. And it's just families in the facility.
Right, and we sent Martin False in search of a couple more of them. He almost got some cotton candy out of this deal. Take a look.
And, of course, a lot of people partake in different, I guess what we call them, refreshments during the game. Now, first of all, I got to ask you, that cotton candy looks really good, is it?
Yes.
Tell me your name.
Katie.
Katie who?
Katie Marie Falk.
Now, you had a chance to dance at the end of the first quarter. Were you nervous? You did a great job out there. You going to be a dancer one day? Now, how about that cotton candy? What flavor is it?
What flavor is it?
Is it strawberry? What? How you think I knew that? Because it's red. All right, you having a good time? All right. Now, you see, we got a whole bunch of things going on here. And Harry and Joe, I got to tell you, one of the perks of being at the Bayou Bucks game is you get to sit next to beautiful women here. Lauren, where you from?
Lafayette.
Lafayette. You got to love Lafayette, don't you? I won't say any more. All right, now I know we see some crazy things here at the Bayou Bucks games, but these two guys right here are called the Buck-sters, all right? First of all, give me your names.
Big Bubba.
Big Bubba.
Slim Jim.
All right, good. Now who came up with the Buck-sters?
Well, that was a while back. They had 2 guys started to act stupid in the woods, so we kind of carried that tradition to the field.
Are y'all having a good time?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We always.
Y'all look like y'all were running around before the game. You got to be careful with those antlers, though. They're pretty pointed, huh?
Yes, sir. We're just trying to get everybody crazy. We'll be careful.
Now, look, I want to place a little bet with these guys. You think you could get some of these fans behind you fired up while we're on camera?
I think so.
All right, how about 3, 2, 1? We're going to keep that camera rolling. Go get somebody fired up. Go. Go. right, there you have it, guys. The Buck-sters, as they call themselves, trying to get the fans fired up over here. Back to you guys.
I wonder which one of those interviews Martin enjoyed the most, Coach.
I'm not in that. I'm not in that, but I enjoyed them all. They were all different types. You know, it was little people and big people.
Sure.
And, yeah. So, you know, I enjoyed it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, it's across the board. We hit all demographics in that little segment, no doubt about it. Speaking of your players now, back to the game. And we had talked about this right at the beginning, but I think to a man they were a little disappointed what happened last week. They knew they were a better team, and they were just a little bummed out. And they showed, and they really played with a lot of pride. Huh?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, you know, this team is, the Tupelo team is probably one of the better teams that I've seen in the last couple of years at being absolutely prepared, being relentless, tough, the whole deal. So when I look at a football team, I don't look at just, you know, the physical ability of them, how they plan and what they do. And I found that they were very well prepared. They were a tough, hard-nosed football team, and they had a system that worked. So I thought we should have won the game. We weren't playing very well at all, but that gives us something to look forward to. 4 weeks from now, we're going to have them again.
Right, and players got the redemption, and we talked about that after the game.
We learned a lesson in our first game that not being in shape will definitely cost you the game. And that's my buddy right here. And I tell you what, Coach Jack did a great job of getting us in great condition. And our defense played like they're capable of. Offense going to continue to put points on the board, and we just rolling from here.
They came in, they thought that they were going to handle it because of our first game. But like I was telling the rest of our defense, you know, we do sign defense, and we come in, we hit them hard, you know, everything else will fall in suit. And we came out, punched them in the mouth, and everything falling.
Yeah, we had a whole lot to play for. This team here beat them in the playoff. And this is my first time playing in this arena. I didn't know the atmosphere. I didn't, you know, a lot of things I didn't know anything about. And I just wanted to come out and just congratulate the whole Bucks team.
Okay, and speaking of playing here for the first time and kind of taking control, you're starting to feel like this is your club?
This is my house. This is my house.
Felt good, huh?
Yeah, it's my house.
The Wiz, man, this is his house, Coach.
Yeah, the Wiz has been out for a little while. I'm going to have to tell him about those bulletin board material type things. But other than that, I think everybody's so very happy. I think they're very confident in what they're doing. And so confidence goes a long way in what we're doing. So I'm really happy that they're feeling that way. And we're going to go back to the drawing board and try to see how we can improve on that.
So you got an open date this week?
Absolutely.
What is that all about, the third week of the season?
Well, check it out, the third and the fifth week of the season, because we got an open week this week, and then we got Beaumont next week, and then we have another open week. Somebody piled them up on us. We had Lake Charles at the beginning, you know, everybody, you know. But whatever God wants us to have, he's going to let us have, and that includes 11 straight victories without a bye week, and that's what we're going to have to do to win this thing.
Absolutely. I guess so y'all can go on spring break or something. I don't know.
What's that?
All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at another very important part of this team, and that would be the Bayou Belles. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the show, and like I say, we always like to hit on the other part of the team, and a very big part of what y'all do in promoting the Bucks is the Bayou Belles, and I know Miss Chris, especially Chris Seward, takes a lot of pride in that.
Well, Miss Chris Seward really has her hands full with more than just the Belles now, because, I mean, it's just an enormous responsibility that she's taking on, being the owner and general manager of the team. But Nica does a great job as being the captain of the Belles and just translates everything that Miss Chris wants. The young ladies are very beautiful, and we talked about it last night, and a lot of people, they say they were going to do a calendar maybe, but something maybe for the kids this time, and some people got sad. But I wanted to say that, you know, the Bayou Belles this year are so different than in the past. They're career women. They all have schooling in their background, or they're going to school right now, just a big difference. And the other thing is they go out to talk to the young people an awful lot. So it's not just about looking good. Well, right. You and I really have to worry about that part.
Yeah, you're right.
But they don't. They really look awesome.
Let's check out some of the video from their halftime performance and a little Outcast action, Coach.
Yeah.
And it's a great song to dance to. And like I said, the uniforms are good. They were very well choreographed, and they
real glitzy, yeah. And, you know, the fun thing about it is those young ladies really, Miss Chris, and just like our team, put a lot of responsibility on these young ladies by having them get in groups, and each group, and then each individual has a day when they're choreographing for the game. So there's a lot of responsibility on these young ladies, and I thought they did a fantastic job.
I thought they did too, and like I say, they don't just go sit on the sidelines either. They work the crowd the entire time. So the whole atmosphere goes together. All right, off this week, then Beaumont, right?
Off this week, Beaumont, and then another off week.
So you ready for Beaumont? Do you prepare that far ahead, or do you go stay on a 3-day schedule before
Well,
games?
this is awesome. Well, the first thing we have to do before we move forward to any team is correct the mistakes that we made the last time around. That's always first. And then if we do that, most of those things will fall in place about being prepared for the next team. So next week, probably, we'll get into Beaumont.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming by, and good luck when you play Beaumont. Have a good, you don't have an off day.
no off day. I mean, today was the off day, and I've done, everything.
All right, he's Coach Jack Phillips. I'm Harry McCulla. We'll see you at the Bucks game. Everybody, and welcome into Bayou Bucks football, the highlight show, along with Coach Jack Phillips. We're feeling a lot better this week, Coach.
Well, a lot better.
Good performance last week, and got the bye week this week. So did you get a chance to relax? And you guys don't relax.
Well, my form of relax, I got to do a little bit of that, and I got to talk to my kids a little bit. Wanted to visit, but we really got some work done. We worked on Wednesday and Thursday. We did the sled. We did an awful lot of running, awful lot of sit-ups, and just some things that we can't normally do while we're practicing or preparing for a game, because this week we're going to practice and prepare for the game. Last week, what we did is prepare for the rest of the season. We need to get some cardio work in, some weightlifting, some sit-ups and things of that nature.
Also got a chance to do a little community service. We'll see that coming up in the show as I went over to the YMCA. But let's talk about the schedule. And it's tough. You guys don't make out the schedule yourselves, but 2 of the first 4 weeks are open dates, and that's got to be tough for a coach to plan. And then you play them all in one time, 11 in a row, whatever it is.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to wind up being, Harry, is 11 in a row, and we have to be prepared for that. And that's what we did this off week, and after this game, we're going to do the same thing for the next off week. And then we'll kind of tone it down a little bit and get the guys out of gear some and, give them a little rest, because the body takes such a pounding that you just kind of have to ride the gray area the whole way. So it's kind of tough, but guess what? I'm glad we had it right now, because we need to, do some things. We're still looking at a couple of different players. So it gives us that option. And also, just to kind of get well a little bit. We got a couple of guys that's dinged up, Tim Betts, of course, and Richard Griffin, and want to make sure those guys are ready to go. So it gives us a little extra time there. So what it looked like in the beginning is not that way now. I feel a little bit different. I'm happy about the bye week right now. I wish the other one was spread out a little bit more, but of course we're going to have to deal with that also.
Hey, you just play it. They come and they get off the bus, you start playing.
That's right.
hey, let's talk about Beaumont this week. You take on Beaumont back at home, so this will be a good time to get back at home, and it says continue what you're doing. I mean, the offense has been great, defense caught up last week, and now you can continue against Beaumont.
Yeah, and to be realistic about everything, the offensive line didn't play the way we wanted them to play. We had Doug running around and scrambling and making plays. A lot of people didn't see that. But the idea is that we've got to be able to protect the quarterback a little bit better than we did against Lake Charles. Now, this Beaumont team is a very interesting team, always full of athletes, always high emotion, high energy, always a lot of guys around the football, always a lot of smack being talked. So this is going to be a very good team. 2 weeks ago, they scored 70. The other week, they scored 27. We don't know which team's going to come in, but I'm definitely planning for the team, the team that scored 70. So it's going to be very interesting for us to see how we bounce back off the big win and then with the bye. So it's going to be kind of interesting, but I think our guys will be ready.
And when you think about the NIFL, a lot of the guys, they get guys from around the community to play, obviously, guys that are working and can go play. Beaumont's been a great area. They call it the Golden Triangle for support, for athletes, pure athletes. And that's just, they're going to have some good athletes, because that one area, the Golden Triangle, feeds several colleges from around that
Several
country.
colleges, not only that, a couple of different teams. I mean, Lake Charles and Beaumont are both vying for those same guys, and we're talking about guys from McNeese State, one of the best 1AA programs in the country. So they're always having, if you look at the Lake Charles roster, you see nothing but McNeese State guys on there. And then, of course, there's some McNeese State guys that play for Beaumont, but they don't hardly need them. I mean, there's tons of guys around to play. I just think it's the camaraderie, the character of the guys, and put them together, and then you go from there, because this league is very interesting. interesting because 1 week you're up, 1 week you're down, and there's only about 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7 consistent teams in the league. The rest of them can beat you behind at any given day, on any given day. So it's always a challenge. The challenge is going to be to keep our guys up after the bye week and after a big victory over Lake Charles.
Okay, let's talk about one guy in particular that I was really impressed with. Finally get a chance to see him play, Doug Coleman. You told us all along this guy can play, and he showed it. And you said he's got a great arm. But even when his blocking breaks down, if the man needs to run, the man could run. And you know, he's just a veteran, knows how to play the game.
No doubt. And when I look at him on film, Harry, it's amazing because the guy is really much better than anybody can guess. You know, even as good as we think he is right now, the little things that he does excites the team. And you can look at this guy, he's a big guy, and the way he steps up in the pocket, the way he pumps the ball. Oh, I mean, you know, who do we know that can pump the ball 3 times and still find a receiver? And he does this all the time. So I'm just very impressed. And, you know, moves like that, you know.
Yeah, just like a Dante Culpepper or Brett Favre a little bit,
yeah,
you know?
Well, the one thing that I think we might agree on is, and I've played in the NFL, that I don't see much different between Doug Coleman and a lot of guys, yeah, right. You know, and that's what I'm happy about. And then he has guys like Kevin Hurst who has stepped up tremendously, and there he is with the horsey back, right?
And here's the big play. He shows he's got the big arm. Afterward, Coach, we got a chance to sit down and talk, or stand up and talk with Doug Coleman. This is what he said after last game. The offense seems to be clicking pretty good.
Yeah, well, the most important thing was to come out here and relax and just have fun. Last week with the first game, we was uptight. But to get back on track, just relax and just have fun and just play ball.
Yeah, and you finished it off this time. I mean, last time, Coach, you outscored 24-6 in the final quarter. This time, y'all stretched it out when you got to the fourth.
Yeah, that was the most important thing, to finish the game. Finish the game strong and not worry about the lead. Just keep building on the lead and just keep pushing pressure. And that's what we try to do this week.
Okay. Hey, well, tell me about this offense. It's all coming together. I know it's a work in progress with Coach Clark and everybody involved, but it seems like it's coming together pretty good for y'all.
Yeah, the offense gives everybody a chance to play at their ability. You know, it's a great offense. We starting to pick up the offense a little better now. We're just having fun now.
I guess this was a big game for you guys. A disappointing outcome to last week's game. So you're coming home for the first time. You're coming off a loss, your divisional opponent. I guess y'all had a lot to play for tonight, huh?
Yeah, we had a whole lot to play for. This team here beat them in the playoff. And this is my first time playing in this arena. I didn't know the atmosphere. I didn't, you know, a lot of things I didn't know anything about. And I just wanted to come out and just congratulate the whole Bucks team.
Okay, and speaking of playing here for the first time and kind of taking control, you're starting to feel like this is your club?
This is my house. This is my house.
Felt good, huh?
Yeah, it's my house.
All right, good. Absolutely, his house.
His house, and I, you know, I'm not going to say much about it. I just wanted to say this about the guy. Such a vast improvement. We were a very good football team last year for most of the year. We're more improved this year, and it has a lot to do with Doug and how he's lighting the fire on the offensive guys, and we're just very happy that he's with us.
You got a guy from White Castle.
That's
you
right.
know, I mean,
the Wizard.
The Wizard of White Castle. And, you know, I used to play in the district of White Castle back in the day, and they always had great athletes. I'm surprised at a guy like this. It's big, strong, has a good arm like that, doesn't get a shot on the next level.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. You know, we want to look sharp. I ran into somebody in the grocery store and they said, man, he was a coach. He said, you guys look sharp. And that's our goal, to make people come and see these guys and win football games at the same time. I think that's one of the things by me playing in this league and been in this league for a while as a player or a coach, that I've always wanted the guys to get the recognition, because that's why they're playing. And so, you know, we're going to put as many points as we can up on the board. We're going to stop as many people as we can, and then somebody hopefully will come and see and say, you know what, these guys can play some football, and maybe they'll give a couple of guys a shot.
The Wizard of White Castle, he's a family man now?
He's a family man now, and that's the reason why he's been out of the game, but that was one of the guys that was throwing the ball to Michael Lewis all those years. You know, he's the guy.
With the Bayou Bees.
With the Bayou Bees out of Baton Rouge, and I'm just happy he's with us.
And where's he live?
He's still living. He
commutes from White Castle?
Yes. Yes. And, you know, we got a couple of guys on the team that make that 2-hour commute, you know, coming from Baton Rouge, from that area. So they usually carpool pretty good. And we're a family.
Yeah, absolutely. So if there's ever, if he's ever late for a practice, give him a little, he might be behind a cane truck coming down Highway 1.
Absolutely.
So cut him a little slack, all right? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the Bucks trip over to the YMCA. Stay with us right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Hey, welcome back to the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Harry McCulla, along with Coach Jack Phillips, and we're talking Bayou Bucks, and we're talking about Beaumont coming up. Last week in the show, we thought you might have had an ACL injury at your linebacker core. You tell me now it might be something good to report on Tim Betts.
Well, the MRI and the X-rays are both negative at this point, but the doctors feel like it's something that we got to see how it progresses, because if there's nothing there, it seems to be, but we're going to miss Tim.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I mean, he's just been a mainstay for us for the last 3 years.
Big number 8 in there, boy. He can really close in on those guys. He's fast. He even runs fullback for you sometimes. But it was right at the end of the first half. He came down with this injury, and then he actually played in the second half, but kind of off and on a little bit.
Yeah, off and on a little bit. Actually, the guy spot played, and he didn't know whether it was torn or strained or whatever. And this guy has done this time after time. Last year in Tupelo, we thought it was broke, and he came back in the game to make big play after big play for us. So just an awesome guy, and somebody that we're going to miss if we don't have him.
So who takes his place?
Well, Corey Johnson, one of the new guys that we brought in, also with David Dorsey, one of those guys that play that position, but they're interchangeable, and so anybody that plays that position is able to play both positions. So those are the two guys we look like we're going to go with unless Tim is ready to go.
Your defense stepped up. I know that was the guys you really kind of challenged in the last game after the Tupelo game. You challenged them. 13 points in an indoor league game, not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. And I'm just real happy that they've done it, but just a taste of success is not enough for us. We've always played that type of defense since we've been here in Houma, well, since I've been coaching the defense. And so I just want us to get back where we're supposed to be. I thought that we were supposed to be better the week before. So the idea is that we just want to stay there. Going to be tough, but we've always been able to keep them up there.
All right. Well, Coach, a big part of this franchise and what you guys do is go out in the community. And you had a good time at the YMCA this week. Huh?
Absolutely. I had a great time. I love to see the looks on the kids' face. They were just all over the place, but went out and did some punt, pass, and kick things with them. You know, just kind of messed around with them and played some ball with them and taught them some things, some little things that we told them not to forget. and just to make sure. And, of course, we had Frank Lewis was out there with us also. Right. And so we just had a lot of fun just doing that. And every now and again, I had to challenge the guys. I said, I'm going to swap the practice with you guys. If you work hard on Wednesday and Thursday, I'll give you guys off on Saturday. And
yeah,
so,
here's a look at some of the video, Coach, and Estropolo coaching up the young man how to kick.
Absolutely.
Now, we know Estropolo can kick. Can he coach, though? That's what we're trying to find out.
Well, that's the thing, and I saw some of those guys coaching.
He's a better kicker.
Yeah, he's a better kicker. And I saw some of those guys, and I was just like, thank God they're players and they're not coaches, you know.
I was a little behind him, Coach.
Well, and I was all in the kids behind that. You know, you just don't drop balls. I don't care who you are, what level you are. No, we really had a good time, and he had Sullivan Beard. You know, of course, he's wearing Kevin jersey, so they're doing the swap thing.
Watch my man here. He comes in. He's coming back for the football. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Always coming back to the football.
But you don't want to bounce it off your dome like that guy.
Absolutely not. We had a good time, and there's a great catch.
But
there also was some, and there's Clint Shakespeare, of course. There's some good things that come out of this camp, and the guys just really get to have a little fun. There's a swim technique.
Right, swim technique, and then not only that, Coach, you taught them how to do the dance.
I didn't teach him that. That comes from the players.
But that's part of being an indoor football, is being fan-friendly and getting after it.
It's a lot of fun, and thank God that we can do something to go out and help kids, and it's a positive manner. And we're going to do as much as that as we can.
And they say it like 100 kids participate on the boys' side and the Belles side.
Right, that's right.
A lot of kids really got a lot of good lessons on the week, and I'm not sure who enjoyed it more, them or you guys.
Well, I enjoyed it more, but the guys felt like they were at practice. You know, if you can imagine being out in the sun for 2 hours playing with kids. But they all had a good time. They didn't cry about it. They loved doing it, and I only took the guys that wanted to do it, and we got about 8 to 10 guys out there, and that was enough.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Bayou Bucks game this week with Beaumont. Stay with us on Bayou Bucks Football. Football. It is our regular Friday Sports Talk 10 at this moment, but not on Tuesday nights. We talk Bayou Buck football, and Bucks are 1-1, coming off a big win, taking off a bye week this week, but coming in against Beaumont. Fans get another chance to see you, Coach, and that was a big deal the other night too. I thought everybody was there, enjoyed it, and I expect to see even a bigger crowd this time.
I think so too. There's an awful lot of energy that's coming around the office. You know, they're getting season tickets. They have a nice family pack now. I think it's 4 people excuse me, for $40 plus popcorn for everybody, and then for drinks. I think that's an awesome family pack, and I think that's going to do some good for us, get some people in there and get some exposure to the game. And so once people are exposed to it, they usually love it and they come back. And the big win for us really helped us out. And, you know, the Seward's are doing everything they can to get people in the seats, and they're doing a good job. We have to do our part and come out and try to win some football games. And the coaching staff and everybody involved is very, very excited that we even have another opportunity back-to-back. Took a little break right here to come out and showcase our talent, and hopefully we'll play as well as we did against Lake Charles.
Right, there's something for everybody there. You know, obviously there's football for us. Those guys can appreciate the football. I guess we also can appreciate the Bayou Belles and all too.
There's no doubt.
By the way, Ashlee, Champagne will be out here taking your place just a second. We'll talk about the Belles in a second.
You know,
but there's also good food, and it's just a fun atmosphere. Even the kids get involved.
Everybody gets involved, and the idea is that it's something there for everybody. And I think, you know, we see babies, toddlers, you know, people sleeping in their father's arms, and you know, we see 70-year-olds there, and you know, it's just it's a range of people, and you see the best of it after the game when they come down to sign autographs, and you see all the little kids on the field like it's their field.
Right.
They're out there playing ball like it's their field, and it is their field. You know, it's our family, it's us, and we're going to pack that thing, man. We're going to pack it, and we're going to try to bring the best football possible to home.
That is the one thing about the indoor game. You're so close to not only just watching the action, but being able to touch the players as well. We sent Martin False, who went out, didn't touch anybody, but he did hand the microphone, and he did talk to some fans at last week's game.
All right, now look, we've caught up with some more Bayou Bucks fans. Of course, they're wearing Saints jerseys, but tonight they're Bayou Bucks fans. All right, give me your full name.
Jonathan Scarpello.
And your name?
Dominic Marino.
Now let me ask y'all something. Who's your grandpa?
Third down for the Bucks.
Who's Pop?
Don Schwab Harrisburg.
Don Schwab, would he be the parish president of Terrebonne Parish?
Yes.
Are y'all having a good time at the Bayou Bucks game? All right, now, look, who's that behind us over here? Who's that behind us?
Sydney.
Who's Sydney? Is that your sister?
No, cousin.
Who's sister? That's your cousin? But who's that for? Which one is she? You don't know all that yet? Sydney, how you doing, baby? You doing all right?
First down.
You doing okay? What are you eating? You eating some gum? Are y'all having fun?
Yes, sir.
What you doing? You hoping to catch a football tonight?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's what she said. All right. Harry and Joe, we're going to kick it back to y'all. We got some of the Schwab clan up here having fun. The parish president, Terrebonne Parish, of course, is here with his family, his son DP, his wife Nancy, and all the grandchildren having a good time here at Bayou Buck football. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, that's great. He can get kids to talk to him all the time.
Well, yeah, he's doing better than me, because kids don't talk to me, they run away. But it's funny how, Harry, that you see all those little kids at the game, and they're having just a great time, and you never would think that indoor football would have an interest for little kids like that, but they all just surround themselves around us, and I'm just having so much fun just making people happy here at home.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Coach, I got Beaumont this week, and we're about to wrap it up with you and bring on Ashlee and talk a little bit about some of the things that go around.
Do I have to leave?
Yeah, you got to go to practice.
You got to go somewhere.
You don't have to leave, but you can't stay here. Beaumont's not going to see this tape. What are you going to do special for those guys? Give us the first play or something.
Well, I can't give you the first play, but you know, we're always looking. We're going to throw the ball 70% of the time. There's no doubt about that. And we haven't been like that since I've been here. We've tried, but we just hadn't had the material to do it. We got the material. We're going to throw that thing all over the place. And when they tighten up on that, we're going to give it to the little guy. And hopefully we'll play enough good defense where we can get those guys behind and force them out of their game plan into something that we want them to do.
All right. Well, Coach Jack Phillips, thanks for coming by, big man.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll see you on Saturday. We'll be right back with Ashlee Champagne. We'll talk a little Bayou Belles. Stay with us on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Welcome back to the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Lucky me, Coach Phillips is now gone. Ashlee Champagne is here to talk about the Bayou Belles and you know, the way we marketed things here. I mean, that's you guys work just as hard as the football team almost, and I know that's a big part of what y'all trying to do with this organization. Huh?
Right. We're part of the marketing team. We go out there in the community. We do community work. just trying to get our names out to the fans. Like Coach said earlier, we have a family pack right now running for the Beaumont game this week. We have 4 popcorn, 4 drinks, and 4 sea-level tickets for family. We just want to fill the stands up.
And how much is that?
$40.
$40 for all of that.
For 4.
For 4, that's not a bad deal. Normally 4 popcorns will cost you about that
Yeah.
much. But actually, that's a good deal. How was the experience the first time at home? How'd the crowd? I know everybody was enjoying hanging around with you guys, huh? But y'all really in the middle of the crowd.
Oh, yeah. We're out there. We're mingling. The little kids come up, and they want your autograph, and they want to talk to you, and right there's the Rat Pack.
Yeah, there's the team, and as we take a look at, man, the fans that come are really into it, and like I said, we'd like to get some more in there. Yeah, get out of the way, pal.
There's Nika.
Making fun of that little guy. But anyway, I know y'all had a good time, but yeah, there's a lot of different aspects of what y'all try to do in the stands.
Oh, yeah, that's the Buck-sters right there. They mingle, get crazy. We try to interact with the fans throughout the whole entire game.
Right, and you guys had to also throw T-shirts and go on the field, and like I say, anything that's kind of between the field and the fans, you guys are responsible for. But I know this is what y'all put a lot of time into,
Oh,
right?
yeah, 3 months. That's our precision dance.
And y'all do like 5 or 6 different songs?
Oh, yeah, this one right here was 4 songs, actually, intertwined together, so, Heidi.
So, and then the last one was Hey Ya, which is one of me and my daughter's favorites. By the way, my daughter's, she's one of those traveling dancers, so we know all about the music and all. But here's Hey Ya, and this is kind of the finale of it, huh?
Oh, yeah, many of the girls stepped up to that next level of professional dancing. With that, you can tell what our precision and how we
I guess when you're talking, how many girls are on this team?
18 altogether.
18, and trying to get 18 girls coming together, it's pretty good effort, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like I said,
Definitely
3
an
months
effort.
went into that?
3 months since tryouts in October. So.
Now, how are you going to do that in 1 week turnaround, 2 weeks turnaround? Now, y'all going to do the same type of deal?
That's where our skill and our professional dancing skills come in.
That's
We'll
right.
see.
So you got the basis, you
Right.
got the basics.
This week is a disco theme, so it's going to be fun, relaxed, kind of just feed our fans.
Okay. Anything special coming up? Yeah, I think, what did you say, disco?
Disco theme, yes.
That kind of hits me back in the old day, kind of the silk shirts and the
yeah.
collars and all that stuff.
Definitely.
I promise I won't come dressed like that, though.
Aw, come on now.
You guys don't want to see that. All right, well, that'll do it for this edition of the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. I want to thank Coach Jack, and I want to thank Ashlee. See you.
Winning the game big, when you get close, that tells about the character of your football team, and we just need to know some things about the character of our football team, and we found out a lot of things. I think everyone stepped it up in the second half, especially the end of the third and the fourth quarter, so that's good, that the guys could do things that they knew they could do, and we made those adjustments after halftime, and we went out and methodically just held them a couple of times there, a couple of big turnovers, and of course we were putting the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and put them away, and going back to a couple of weeks ago, that's what we were saying. That's what didn't happen in Tupelo. Now you're starting to finish these games. I know some of the guys were a little rusty coming off that bye week, but they really got to go in the second half, and they finished, and I know that's what you like.
Well, finished, and this group is huge. There's 350 pounds across the board on their offensive side of football. A pretty darn good veteran running back in Troy Summerall. So we knew that they were going to run the ball. They're big guys against our guys are really good, but they're undersized, on our defensive line. So people try to run against us, and I think they bowled up fine in the third and fourth quarter to stop that thing. But with a big blocking back, they had an extra lineman in the backfield, so just a little bit different for us. But as long as we find a way to win, then we can move on to the next game.
That was, of course, Beaumont, and they win by 9 points, 52-43. But a change. You thought you had an open date this week. Now you're going to Wichita Falls, Texas. A little change of quirk in the scheduling. Myrtle Beach was taken out of the league. So now you're going to go to Wichita Falls and probably going to make up that open date down the road.
Right, and that's, you know, at this point in time, that's good. I wish I still had the other week to let Tim Betts get well, but now we got to make a day-to-day decision on him. You know, that's the one thing that I worry about. And also, everything about us, our emotion, our mind, our physically, you know, we thought that we were going to be off this week, so that's a change. But now I think it's just business. Like, we've got to go up there and win a game no matter who's standing in our way, and that's that type of attitude we're going to try to get over to the guys tonight at practice.
Right, absolutely. Now, this is not the NFL. These guys are not millionaires. They all have other jobs as well. So it's very difficult when you tell guys that, hey, you're going to be off. Oh, wait, now you're not off, and in fact, we're on the road.
And I tell you what, the rain in South Louisiana has really prepared us because we were able to move practice, move everything on the drop of a dime. We got a solid phone list where we can call the guys at any time and say that this is going to be the changes. So I think our guys are pretty excited about just playing the game. They just want another win and another win. And hey, as long as we can keep them feeling that way, heck, you know.
Boy, is that a positive, Coach. The rain in Louisiana has now prepared you for the season. That's real good, Coach. All right, let's take a look at the first half highlights against Beaumont. This is a positive thinker here. And you had a good crowd there. And like I said, the Wizard said he was just maybe a little bit off because of the bye week, and the balls bouncing all over the place, and they jumped out to a 13-3 lead. Andre Reed, though, would get after their quarterback and knock him out of the game on this play.
Yeah, and Andre Reed, undersized defensive lineman, but all NIFL for the last couple of years. As you can see, just fantastic moves. You know, it doesn't matter what size the guy is, that he usually takes advantage of the guy on the other side.
Yeah, getdrilled.com. Those are some of the Beaumont's fans who were there. But the kickoff return by the big man, Richard Griffin. That was a big play for him.
That was a big play, and it was bigger. The fact is that, you know, he got that ball down there close to where we can try to get the ball in the end zone.
Right, Jarvis Dunn punches it in. You actually had a little trouble in the red zone early on, but he got it in there. And then there's Summerall, the guy we were talking about, Troy Summerall, touchdown. And now they're up 11, 21-10. So you said, oh, we got to get right back in the game. You had 3 one-play drives. This is one of them. Clint Shakes 9.
What a fantastic job. I mean, Clint Shakes now is just really consistent, as is the whole receiving corps this year. Really upped their game, and you can imagine they were pretty good last year, but this year they're just much better. And of course, you can see David Field, y'all right there coming up with the big interception, but just a fantastic group of receivers, and it's going to be a lot of one plays, and also that's why sometimes we go for it on 4th down. We're just not afraid to do that because the Wizard and whoever's back there, we're going to sling that thing all over the place.
Right, absolutely. And so after the turnover, one play, it's the Wizard to Kevin. I heard that.
That's right. Nice name.
Nice play by Kevin.
Yeah, and look, he just, just a class act young man right there.
And then the defense starts stepping up. There's Shakes now. They made a couple of nice plays on special teams.
Well, the thing is, starters have to do more than just play their position. They have to double on at special team.
And then Roger Green.
Oh, yeah, and Roger and Andre really stepped up with a new guy in there, Kentrell Blanchard. So the idea is that he was just helping lead those guys, and Roger stepped up for us in the second half.
And Kevin, I heard that again. 15 seconds before the half, Coleman, beautiful pass, great catch.
And dance.
And great dance. The Bucks going into the halftime. Everybody said this little guy wanted more from the Bucks. I guess he wanted a little more from the Bucks, so he's bumming out. Actually had to settle for a little cotton candy.
Little cotton candy. Well, I seen him do the
trick. so you go to the locker room, and you say you made some adjustments. Because you actually started playing there right at the end of the half. And like I said, a couple of drop passes, a couple of tip passes, kind of got in a hole, but your team didn't panic and you got right back in.
Well, the thing about it is because we're going to, we're like a organized run and shoot. We're going to just challenge everybody down the field all the time. And we're not going to panic about a turnover, because we're going to throw the thing a lot. So the idea is that our offense just held on just long enough to where the defense got his feet up on them, go into halftime and make some simple adjustment with our linebackers. Still didn't give us exactly what we wanted, but at least we were able to stop guys without them, they even had to go for it on 4th down a couple of times and failed. So the idea is that it didn't happen early for us, but it definitely happened late, and I'd rather it happen late than never.
Absolutely. So while you're in the locker room making those adjustments, Martin False is our man that always gets around in the stands, and this time Martin False, he saddled up to one Chris Fauque to do a little fan interview.
All right.
right, Harry. Well, as always, we love to welcome new sponsors to HTV and the Bayou Bucks. Joining me now, Chris Fake with the Lafourche Parish Farm Bureau. Chris, first of all, thank you for joining HTV's team. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Martin. Looking forward to a long relationship.
All right, now, we got you on the first seat. You're right where the action is. Right. Is it everything you thought it would be?
It's actually better. I'm excited. I'm waiting for somebody to come close so I can grab him or catch a ball.
Now, look, your brother, Joe Fake, right next to you, who's a salesman at HTV, played for LSU, and had the distinction of throwing 3 touchdowns as a wide receiver. Right. You got to be proud to be with your brother tonight, huh?
Very proud. I was with him for all 3 also.
All right.
Very proud.
Talk a little bit about Farm Bureau. How's things going?
Things are going great. We're in Lafourche Parish. We have 3 offices. We have an office in Tupelo. We have 1 in Matthews, and we have 1 in LaRose. We all types of insurance, fire, homeowners, auto, life, whatever you need. Give us a call.
So Thibodeau's supporting the Houma Bayou Bucks?
Absolutely. Very much
All right.
so.
There you go, Harry. We got a guy from Thibodeau here enjoying the action. We're going to send it back to you, and we'll be back a little later with more interviews here at the Bayou Bucks game.
All right, thank you, Martin, and welcome aboard, Chris. All right, the fans always great to you guys.
Always.
And it's good to be at home. I know y'all hate to leave those guys.
No doubt, and a lot of people say that they never would think that a place that small would hold that amount of noise, but the fans are just grasping to what it is that we're doing, and we're just excited to be able to go out there and entertain those guys. And every time we're home, we're excited. That's, you know, somebody came up to me and said, "You realize you won 9 straight home games since last year?" And we couldn't have done it without our fans, who are some of the best in the league.
All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, second half highlights and player reactions. Stay with us on Bayou Bucks football.
Along the bayous of South.
Joe, time to get into the second half highlights, and like I said, I think you guys established themselves and really almost kind of ran away towards the end of this game.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, the team wasn't that bad of a football team.
Right.
We took the quarterback out of the game, but, of course, they brought another guy in there who I think threw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. So the idea is that we still had a lot of work left to finish. But the idea is that we did finish the football game on a positive note. We made a couple of big plays on defense, some big plays on offense and special teams. So I'm very happy with the win.
All right, let's get right to the highlights and take a look at it. And, of course, always mascots at the game. Look at Martin mugging with the mascot. Joe Fake loves those mascots as well. And Sullivan Beard came up with a big sack.
Oh, no doubt. And to be totally honest, that was just a great play by Sullivan Beard, who's really upped his game this year also. And
we talked about, you kind of had some red zone issues later, but my man, the Wizard, Doug Coleman, kind of dribbles that in. Take a look at the replay, and you got kind of fortunate there, Coach.
Yeah, fortunate. Yeah, there you go, and that's what happened right there. Just an excellent play by Roger Green. You know, Roger and the defensive line really started coming off the ball and shedding those big guys. That's an enormous task for those guys to do, and then right there we just didn't have enough to get it in. But of course, right here, because the Wizard is like a point guard, you can't look in his eyes. He's looking one place and throwing the ball other place. He looks guys off, and that trouble for Kevin Hurley right there.
But you got it right back. After you didn't score there, and you see they had 43-38, you get it back, and you would score the rest of the points of this ball game. Nice play right there by Beard on the interception, and then watch this play. Hurd dropped that one. He didn't drop this one. Beautiful catch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And watch the replay. Unfortunately, he kind of fell on a fan, and some of those fans weren't too happy about him being in the booth, kind of throwing him out there. But take another look at this catch.
Those are Beaumont's fans.
And, this was huge.
Yes, it was, and just concentrating. Kevin Hurley makes catches like that the whole time. And, you know, the idea is that...
She's shaking a finger at him.
Well, that
he tried to apologize.
Well, this is the thing. This young man is one of the nicest young men that I've ever known in a football uniform, and he didn't mean to do anything. No. And he's over there really upset that the lady thought that he did it on purpose. We never want to hurt anybody.
No, absolutely.
You know, period. And he, you know, it's just something that happened, and so we kind of. You know, right there, they're kind of angry with us, but...
no, he tried to apologize. He went back over to apologize, and they didn't want to hear about it.
Right, but Kevin Hurd is still catching touchdowns.
Yeah, he did. He had another touchdown later on, and then the defense stepped up as everybody was starting to go, yeah, we got this one. And even my man Tyrone Hughes stepped up and made a big interception at the end of the game.
Well, this is why we brought Tyrone Hughes. What a great play. We've been trying to get those other guys to make that play on the end of the diamond, we call it right there. But Tyrone just great instinct.
Yeah, and afterward, the Wizard said he don't like these days off.
No, I want to play. I don't want them off week. The off week, it messed my timing up, and
I need games.
All right. Still feeling pretty good, though, huh? I mean, this team, you still feel big things on the way for this team.
Yeah. We haven't had our breakout game, and I'm looking forward to getting 80 because we have the potential to get 80. And once we settle down and just play a whole game, complete game, we're going to be fine.
The running game is the way you want to be yet?
Yeah, I'm getting used to the game. It's my first year in here, so, I mean, by the 4th or 5th game of the season, it'll be right.
Y'all made it interesting for a while there. I guess it took y'all a little while to get cranked. Huh?
Well, definitely, yeah. At one point, we couldn't stop the run and stuff like that, and because of the fact that, we had 2 new linebackers, which Tim was hurt, so, that kind of hindered us for a minute. So we had 2 linebackers, that was somewhat inconsistent, so the defense had to step up and stuff like that. So we stepped up in the end, when it counted.
You made one of the greatest catches, but you were probably making up for some earlier in the game.
Right, and it's no good when you catch 4 touchdowns and you drop 3. So if you can catch all of them, that's what always I'm striving to do. Catch all of them.
And it just shows how explosive this team can be, huh?
It can be, and it's kind of scary that like I said, we always start off real slow, and we kind of pick it up at the end. So if we can get it going early on and keep that same intensity through the whole game, it's scary.
All right. Kevin, I heard that, and I know as a coach you like to hear that the guys aren't satisfied with catching 5 touchdowns when they could have 7 or 8.
Well, I think one of the best things that could happen to us is that the theories and the things that we say and the things that we do and what we try to teach just sinks into every player. And I think that's happening because guys are not satisfied whether we win. It doesn't matter about how much we win by. We just have to keep getting better. So every player is looking within himself, including the coaching staff, and we're all very honest with ourselves about the play calling and about everything. And the coaches usually do a pretty good job with the play calling. The idea is that the players are feeling the same type of pressure to be good, and I think it's going to go a long way in our success.
All right, well, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at a coach, speaking of coach, a coach in uniform wearing number 30 for these Bayou Bucks. Stay with us right here on Bayou Bucks Football.
At Parker Honda, we don't stand on ceremony.
To the Bayou Bucks highlight show, and Harry McCulla along with Coach Jack Phillips. Let's talk about some of these players. And you got a guy that just shows you what the love of football is. I mean, Tyrone Hughes is a guy that played for the Saints, was a NFL top caliber return man with the Saints, played many years, played in Nebraska, now coaching full-time at Phoenix in St. Bernard Parish. And he's still finding time to come down here on weekends to help your club out.
Yeah, and the thing is, we run a very tight shift when it comes to the practice because the stuff that we're putting in is very detailed oriented. And so we need Tyrone here at practice, and he's been able to do that, and that's why we played him. And he understands that if he doesn't make the practices, that he may not play. And so we kind of run a tight shift there. But of course, Tyrone Hughes can help us. But a guy that's been coming to practice every day, if we can't get Tyrone in, then we're going to play the other guy. That's just only fair. And Tyrone's rolling with the punches, and I think he's having a good time. But like you say, guy coming from Nebraska, coming from St. Augustine High, I think out of New Orleans, right. and just being at the top level in every aspect, high school, college, one of the best programs in college, and then of course being a Pro Bowl, brings a lot of attitude and character to our football team. So yeah, we do have a coach that's on the field, but we have a couple of different coaches that coach for a couple of different high schools, and those guys are very valuable also to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to call him a poor man's Deion Sanders because even when he played defensive back, he always seemed to find the ball.
Always seemed to find the ball. And we got about 2 or 3 of those guys back there, Drew Email and Sullivan Beard and Tyrone Hughes now. I mean, they will find the football. And so, we usually always lead the league in interceptions, and that's one of the reasons why we got ball hawks and we got a good system that we run back there. So I'm hoping that we can get close to 50 interceptions again this year.
All right, after the game, we talked with Tyrone Hughes about what the heck's he doing down here at home. It was a battle, but defense kind of stepped up towards the end and made some plays.
Well, we finally got everything together, and we made some key stops, and towards the end of the game, they had to throw the ball, and that's basically what we want to do. We did a terrible job of stopping the run, which they did an excellent job, and we just got outmanned on certain situations, and we made up for it towards the end. I mean, the offense actually kept us in this game.
Hey, tell me about why you're still out here. I mean, you're coaching now. You got Phoenix in the playoffs. Y'all making big runs, and you're still playing ball.
I'm still playing ball. I mean, it's fun. I mean, obviously it ain't for the money, so it's just fun. I mean, and really and truly, I kind of come out here to coach some of these guys. They got a lot of talent. I wish the NFL would start looking at this like they look at the arena team. I mean, they got a lot of talent in this league. Especially, if you look at our quarterback, Doug Coleman, he should be definitely on somebody's NFL team.
Yeah, I see that too. Does this help you when you're coaching to be able to still be in touch with the game a little bit?
Oh, definitely. I mean, and, I think by me helping these guys and my kids, it all comes to organization and scheduling for me by being the only coach down there. It's hard, but it's fun.
To somebody that doesn't know, can you explain to somebody the love of the game and why you would keep playing? How old are you?
Well, the reason 34. And the reason why I like this one as opposed to arena, this is just like NFL football. We have NFL rules. We could play zone, we could play man, or what have you, as opposed to just all up and down the field running gun. I mean, and when you're able to put up 30, 40, 50, 60 points in a zone within this little bit of arena, you got some good talented guys out there, receivers and quarterbacks.
Hey, any of you guys know you're an NFL player?
Oh, a lot of them do. I mean, especially last year, and this was my first game back, so hopefully I gave up one touchdown a night. I didn't give up any last year, so I had to make up for it with that interception.
All right, so good to have him aboard. All right, Coach, now's the time when I know you don't like this part. You got to go to practice, and we're going to bring in the Bayou Belles, Aaron Ryan.
And one of these days, I'm going to get to stay when the bells are on. But, I tell you what, every now and again, I get to see them. They're just wonderful girls, and I'm glad at least you get to see them on a personal level because I got to go. Now, you told me I didn't have to go home, but I got to get out of here.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a break when we come. Everybody, and welcome into the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Harry McCulla, along with the head coach of the Bayou Bucks, Coach Jack Phillips. Coach, congratulations. Another week and another win. That's 3 in a row for this team.
Yeah, 3 in a row, and we need every one of them.
Of course, you beat Wichita Falls last week, and a team that was pretty good, and a schedule that changed, and more scheduling changes are on the way for this team. And I guess as the league tries to reorganize and do the right thing and get everybody on the same page, I guess.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of more changes going to be made. Well, definitely, we're going to go to Lake Charles this weekend, and of course, we're going to take a busload of people with us. Our fans always seem to make that trip. Always a big rivalry game for us. Both teams understand it's going to be just a mental, physical war out there. So I'm looking forward to the game. And just like the last game, we need this game also to keep pace with Tupelo.
Absolutely. 3 in a row. And take a look at the schedule. And this is what the scheduling changes are. And you see at Lake Charles this week, you're supposed to go to Lexington. That was the old schedule on the left, the new schedule on the right. Of course, last week was supposed to be a bye, but you went to Wichita Falls. This week's supposed to go to Lexington. You're going to go to Lake Charles. And then you pick up the bye when a week you should have went to Missouri. Then at Tupelo, that remains the same. And then the following week, another bye. So 2 byes out of the next 4 weeks. And a game that should have went to Greenville. And then the rest of the schedule will remain the same. And you'll play 13 games instead of 14 games.
Right. And when I look at that, the first thing that comes to my mind is the physical abuse our bodies take when we're on the road, which is just one of the reasons why we don't play up to par. Many teams don't play up to par. That's not an excuse. But so we just cut about maybe 35 or 40 hours off our trip. It only takes us 4 hours to get to Lake Charles. And then those other 2 weeks, of course, we have byes. So the Greenville trip, the Missouri trip, and the Lexington trip was about 45 hours total, and now we're only going to take a 4-hour trip in the next 3 weeks.
Absolutely. So that's good news. Let's talk. You mentioned about the bus trip. We want to pass along the Bayou Buck fans. The organization is a trip this Saturday to Lake Charles. $40. You get on the bus, and you get a ticket for the game. So that's a pretty good deal.
That's an excellent deal, and our fans took advantage of that last year. The bus was able to pay for itself. That's the main thing. And the fact is that when we go over there, it's like our home. It's just so close. So a lot of fans are going to probably make that trip. They would need to call us by quitting time on tomorrow, at the very least, to take advantage of this.
Yeah, and they'll have a pregame tailgating party as well.
Always.
And there's probably a few ice chests on the bus, but we won't mention that.
Just possibly a few.
let's talk about the trip to Wichita. We'll have highlights from the Wichita game. And your team, again, played good. As I said, made it 3 in a row, and the offense scored, what, 10 out of 14 trips?
10 out of 14 trips down the football field. Very efficient at what it is that we do, and we also knew that Darian Chestnut, who is hopefully will be the player of the week in the league, 16 carries for 95 yards, 2 catches for 16, and 3 tackles on special team. Just a stellar job by the receiving corps, and especially Darian Chestnut for being able to do both this week.
Right. Chestnut, of course, a wide receiver, but stepped in and was also a running back, and looks like a pretty good one as well. Here's where it started. Actually, a 3-point game at this point. You throw the ball in the end zone, little interference there, and then there's my man.
Yeah, just doing all of the little things that we wanted Chestnut to do, and any back. And then, of course, here's Kevin Hurd with the throw from Coleman, and just a dart right there. And then Kevin just such an outstanding catch to get across the end zone line.
Right. Coleman again, moving, throwing. Good catch by Shakes.
And Coleman's best asset right there is moving around in the pocket and finding guys. Great job by Shakes.
And then Coleman up top again. Hurd, great catch.
Awesome catch. Goes up and swipes that thing out of the air and just just kept us in the game.
And then Wichita Falls trying to make a comeback, but our man Tyrone Hughes, the former Saint, takes it back the other way.
Yeah, for the second week in a row, he was able to do that for us to clinch the win.
So, yeah, he's always a guy, and I've said this before, we said it last week. To me, Tyrone Hughes was a poor man's Deion Sanders. The ball always finds that guy.
Always finds that guy. And that gives me 3 guys that really in the secondary, Drew Emil, Tyrone Hughes, and Sullivan Beard, which the ball finds those guys. And between those 2 guys, or those 3 guys, close to 20-some-odd interceptions between the 3 of them. I mean, so they just have a way of finding the ball. We hope to get Drew Emil back into the lineup as soon as we can. But, of course, Tyrone Hughes just showing improvement every week, and the reason why we want him on our squad.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Let's quickly talk about your running back position. You decided to go with Chestnut and give him the ball a little more.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that we do with the rest of our team. If you remember, in week 1, we shared time with Coleman and Aubrey Jones just to figure out who was going to be the guy. Kind of had a feeling who was going to be the guy, but in this case, we want to know who our swing guys are. Chestnut, we always thought can do it from last year. That was the first decision we made on the bus back from Lake Charles after losing that playoff games, that I wanted Chestnut to be one of those guys to see if he could do both. We knew Dunn could do both, but it just turns out that Chestnut is just a little bit better running back at this point, and he's going to help Dunn along the way also. So Dunn is not out of the picture, just he's going to take a back seat for a while and share time with Chestnut, of course.
And you know how this game of football is. You're going to need both of them.
We're going to need them.
Just like you may need both quarterbacks this week. Coleman is not feeling good. He's banged up a little bit.
Yeah, he's banged up a little bit, and of course we have much confidence in Aubrey Jones, but this is what we've been working for. We knew that we may need both quarterbacks at any point in time, and so we went out and locked those 2 guys down from the very beginning. And everybody that plays is going to help us no matter what. And I think there's no pointing fingers. There's no he did, she did, what have you. They just go out and play ball, and it doesn't matter whether it's the offense or the special team or the defense that's scoring. It doesn't matter whether it's the first string or second string guy. It just matters that we get the job done.
Right. You play Lake Charles, you know it's going to be a hard-hitting game. Aubrey Jones, I think you got a lot of confidence in the guy. You might, I think I heard you say you think he might be the best backup quarterback in the league.
Well, he's, in my opinion, seeing some of the other backup quarterbacks that I've seen around, it's just that he's a big, tall kid, 6'4", 210 to 15 pounds, got a rocket for an arm, and the idea is that this year we're throwing the ball down the field much more than we've done in the past, so this plays into his strong suit. So we don't have a problem for him, but if Doug wants to go or can go, that would be a day-to-day thing, and we've been keeping in contact with him. He's not going to do anything until Thursday, and if he does anything, it's going to be here.
Right. And I tell you what, Coleman, though, has been better than I expected. I know you really thought a lot of it, but I do the voodoo games. I do sideline reporting for some of the voodoo games, and I watch players in that league, the Arena League, and I'm telling you, Coleman can play in that league.
Well, there's no doubt about it that there's at least 2 guys that I think that play for us that can go to that league and play. But, of course, you have to do things on a consistent basis, and I think that's where Kevin Hurd has upped his game to do that every day, all the time, and he's one of those players. And Doug Coleman is also, and quality is kept. I think Aubrey Jones is one of those guys because of his raw talent, his youth. So, it's anybody's game. All you got to do is find consistency, and people that want to pay you to do the job and pay you a lot of money will find you.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take a break right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. When we come back, we'll break down a little bit of that offense and a little bit of the defense. Stay with us right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. To the show, and we were, again, speaking in a break about some of these players and just watching how the different progressions are. Tyrone Hughes after last game said he thought Coleman could play in the NFL, at least get a shot and play in some of those camps. But you say that's part of the deal, is to these guys have to use these as stepping stones. And if Coleman does play and they go, oh, that guy used to play for the Houma Bayou Bucks, it gives what y'all doing a little more credibility.
Well, exactly. The best thing that could happen to us is guys like Coach Franklin Thomas leaves here and Coach New Fields very good about what he's doing and the things that he's learned, and a lot of them here. Talked to Coach Thomas today from the Voodoo and yesterday. The idea is that we're very close. We know that, and he tells me, say, what you guys are doing over there, the way you keep it at a high level is something good for the players and the coaching staff, because when they go somewhere else, they have the great work ethic, they have the great ability to practice well on a consistent basis, and that's what people who want to pay you a lot of money is looking for. So I think Doug could do it, and I think there's 2 or 3 other players that could do it, or get the shot at the very least.
Right, absolutely, and that's all you ask for as a player. Let's talk about your wide receiving core. We have video of your wide receiving core, who obviously are catching passes from Doug Coleman, but take a look at some of these guys, and you talked about Kevin Hurd. That's a guy that you think might make the jump too.
Yeah, I think that Kevin can make the jump, and the fact is, look, these type of catches, the concentration, the ability to jump, just such a nice guy, besides the fact. And, there's just guys all over the place. I think that's Darren Chestnut right there, great hands. And these guys are still getting better. Darren Chestnut is an amazing story because he's still learning a position. And then Doug doing what he does best, moving around and finding people. Then Kevin Hurd with outstanding catch, and then the jump just to show off his athletic ability.
But, yeah, he's really been good, and Coleman's 19 touchdowns, not too bad. But,
not too bad.
The entire staff, and then Shake Snyder has made some big catches too.
Big catches. They're all, they're a team. Every game when they see guys catching passes, they're going to try to take something away from 1 or 2 of the guys. Just can't.
Yeah, but when you have 3 that can really do it, it really.
Well,
really,
4 or 5, and no one knows. They just don't know.
Out of the backfield as well. Not bad. So offense has been clicking, almost probably averaging over 50 points a game, ready to go. Defense has been stepping up at the end of games and really helping you out. Except for the opener, the defense seems to have gotten the message, and they're doing it now.
Well, I think they're doing it. I think a lot of people are just so spoiled with the fact that we've been a very good defense for the last couple of years, where we hold people to 6 points and 13. Well, that's just not realistic all the time. But I can tell you this, Harry, we look forward to getting back to that, and I think we're just a game off of what we used to do, so that may come back. But as fast as our offensive team is scoring, we score the football, the kickoff team has to run down. Well, this week the kickoff team ran down 10 times, and the kickoff team is the defense. And so, things happen that way where people just got to know that the way the offense is scoring the ball really affects what we do. So getting guys in shape, and I think they're there, along with running down on the kickoffs and then coming back and playing on defense. Tough task for us to get used to.
Yeah, we have video, not only guys getting in shape, but guys getting healthy. We have video of some of the defense, and what I like is your front line has really held this defense together.
Yes, it has.
While it has. And this guy, Andre Reed, geez, he's
undersized, undernoticed, 3rd in the league in sacks, but, the defensive line is just, outstanding. Then, of course, we get Tim Betts back. He's just an outstanding leader. He's limping around the place, but even limping, he was a guy that could make plays. And as you can see, big Roger Green and all those guys, they move very, very well. They're a small group compared to other guys, and when they're healthy, we're definitely on all cylinders.
Yeah, Roger Green has really seemed like he looks like a Mike Singletary. He's wearing number 50. He kind of looks like Mike Singletary, but he also seems like the leader. And he's telling some of the guys, all right, y'all pick up Betts' slack, and he kind of rallied them up. This was when Reed knocked the quarterback out from Beaumont a couple of weeks, and there's Roger Green again.
Absolutely, and he's just really feeling it now, and so he's getting in a little bit better shape. No more dominant player that can control the game on defense than Roger Green.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job, and like I say, I think those guys have kind of held it together while Betts came back. Betts played last week.
Yeah, he played last week, but those guys have been the anchor while we get things together back there in the secondary and deal with those injuries and stuff. But last week, of course, Betts with his leadership. not too nifty, not too mobile, but exactly what we needed. You could tell the difference the way the guys got in the huddle. You know, everybody got in the huddle because Tim is going to make you get in the huddle. And that's just the bottom line. And he's my guy over there. He and Roger Green are the two leaders over there. And when they're together, we're just solid mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll check out some fans, and you may have the double take at some of the guys Martin False are interviewing this week. Stay with us right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Welcome back to the show. We talked earlier about some of the fans will be going to Lake Charles on the bus. $40 to get you tickets to the game and a ride to Lake Charles. But the fans are a big part of what we do here, and you know a couple of the guys Martin's going to talk to in a second. Amos and Percy Mosley. I mean, 2 of 14 kids that grew up down Bayou Black. And I mean, you know those guys could put away some groceries. Oh, and they were just 2 of 14. You know how that house was like when they were coming out.
Yeah, they're two good guys, and two guys that really has kind of taken me under their wing, showed me the way since I've been here. Really good people. Amos comes out and cooks for us sometimes. And, of course, Percy comes out and arrests people when we need him to. No, I'm just playing. But they're good guys, and you know, I like being around them, and they just kind of show me the ropes.
Yeah, they're absolutely fun, and they were at the game last week, and Martin False caught up with them, and here's what they had to say.
All right, Harry, look, you see some exciting things at the Bayou Bucks game. We have the Mosley twins. They are world-renowned, of course. All right, now, 2 things I wanted to know tonight. Which one's older? Amos said Percy's older by how many minutes?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So does that make you the king of the twins?
Not quite.
All right, talk about the Bayou Bucks.
Well, I can't talk very much about the Bayou Bucks. I know quite a few of the guys. You know, I know they train hard in reference to coming out to play ball, you know, in weight room training and exercise, getting out and exercising. And I train hard, too. I like to train with these guys sometimes to see exactly what they get all made of.
All right, Joe Faka is off camera. He used to play for LSU, but look, Joe, Joe, check out the guns, Joe. Huh? Oh, Joe said he was twice as big. Amos, look, you seem to be at all these games. You look like you have a good time. The only reason I can tell the difference is definitely the hat. Definitely the hat.
That is it.
You have a good time, don't you?
That is it, yes. I have a great time when I come out here watching the Bayou Bucks. I became good friends with the coach of the Bayou Bucks and the players of the team. We'll have a good time, and I got my brother out here tonight, and he seemed to be enjoying it, and that's what it's all about. Have a good time.
Now, I got to ask you guys something. I know y'all twins, but y'all about as close as twins could get, huh?
Yes. Yes, we are tight. Like I said, there are brothers that are tight, but I don't think there's any brothers as tight as Percy and myself. We do a lot together. You know, we hang out. That's my buddy.
Tell you what, y'all have been known around Terrebonne Parish for a long time, and y'all a good example for Terrebonne Parish. And we thank you for coming out and enjoying the game.
Thank you, boy.
All right, one more time, Percy. Show that muscle for the camera. One more time, Percy. One more time, Percy. One more time. Harry, back to you. All right.
More than having a good time with the twins there.
Yeah, having a good time with those guys, and there's so many people like that. And, you know, this is a small town, and a lot of people know everybody. And I've been all over the place, and this is just one of the places where I seem to know almost half of the people that's in the facility for the games. So it's just like family, not just for us, but for those people also. They feel the responsibility to come out and watch us.
Right, and it's good. And I know the players that also mingle around with the people. That's important. I played minor league sports. And we always had those reputations with, you know, those associations with people, you know, where you got to know, they invite you over for barbecues on your days off and really get to know you, and they were fun. And you wasn't a big league player, and they could actually reach out and touch, you know, we used to say they could pet the animals on this level.
That's right.
And that's exactly what they do with the Bayou Bucks.
And not only that, because I think that because so many of the guys work with the kids, then the moms and dads get involved, so it's really a trickle-down situation where guys do that. And then I think the best thing is when they go to the game and see that, you know what, the guy's not only a fantastic person, we would like to put really good athletes on the field when it's all said and done. So not only is he a really good player for the money, he's just such a fantastic player for the money he's getting paid also, and he's also out in the public. So I just don't think you can beat that for small town USA, right. and boy, we're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's great. And let's talk about the next game. You now get Lake Charles again. I mean, now, you know, and it makes sense financially. You don't make the trips. But it's a big rival game, so there should be big crowds too that show up. But now you get to play them 3 times this year.
Yeah, I get to play them 3 times, and you know we played them 3 times last year. But the other game was, of course, for the playoffs. The first round we had to meet them, and of course they beat us. The idea is that we know what it's going to be. It's going to be a dogfight. A lot of fans are going to get their money's worth off of this one. If there's one game that you want to catch, it's got to be Lake Charles and Houma. And we're the big rivalry in the South, and we hope to hold that up and make sure that we play well for our fans.
Right, you were 0-1 coming in the last game. We do have video of the last time you played Lake Charles here. And again, you were actually trailing at this point. Well, actually not at this point, but you really came on, and Coleman, you know, you started taking charge at the end, you kind of ran away from him at the end.
Yeah, and a lot of people had a lot of fun, as you can see right there. It's just an exciting game.
And not only you get the touchdown, but then, of course, you get the interception here, and this really gets you going.
Oh, yeah, and this guy's always trying to get to the end zone. No matter what he's doing, when he's got the football, he's always trying to get to the end zone.
Yeah, Beard's a heck of a player, and yeah, so you got to think they'll have a little bit of a mad on. In fact, you think they've made some changes because they're not satisfied with just playing around 500.
Hey, that's good observations. Something that I feel to tell you guys at the very beginning. They've added 9 new players. They've got most of the players that they had from last year, and they're going to give us a run for our money. There's just no doubt about that. Up there, these guys really aren't going to go down. We've won the last 3 out of 4 games. They're not going to go down easy.
9 new players out of 21. So they just kind of said, all right, you guys over here, pack your stuff and get out of here?
Yeah, well, you know, some of the times you think you can do without, and on this level, you know, there's character and all types of things to worry about. Sometimes you sacrifice character and things to bring in good players. Well, we won't do that here, but sometimes when your back is up against the wall like Lake Charles have been, then they have to, you know, get guys in the best way they can, but they've always seemed to draw fantastic talent. Remember, they're in the McNeese State area. Sure. You know, you can always draw players from there. It's one of the best 1AA programs. Right. Yeah, in Beaumont. Yeah, right. And one of the best 1AA programs in the country. So I don't think they're ever far off. There was a player here or there. You know, the quarterback got knocked out last time. There's all types of reasons why we won the game. A lot had to do with us, but some of that had to do with them. And we have to understand that going into this game and play those guys as hard as we played them the first time.
Right, absolutely. All right, we'll take a break when we come back. Coach is actually sticking around for the final segment. No Bayou Belle, but we'll talk about the Bayou Belles.
That's probably the only reason I can stick around.
All right, stay with us right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Come back to the show, the final couple of minutes as we go. Normally we run Coach out of here and bring a Bayou Belle, but they stood me up. That ain't the first time somebody stood me up, Coach.
Well, at least I get to stand by.
Absolutely. So we'll talk behind their back. Let's take a look at the video of what goes on, and we tease. But a lot of what happens is you know, off the field as well. Not just the Bayou Belles, but the Buck-sters guys and all those guys.
That's just so awesome. I'm looking at the guy with the hat, and everybody's having fun. Look at this. It's just so amazing. This is genuine.
Yeah,
this is really genuine. Yeah, man.
Well, look at these guys dancing and the mascots and everything.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you do have quite a few fans that follow you around, and a lot of the guys from that the Rack Crew, I guess they call themselves.
The Rack Pack.
Rack Pack. They'll go.
Well, there's actually 2. There's the Rack Pack and there's Section 202, and that seems to be Section 202. And boy, they're just really doing it up this year. I'm really happy. And of course, the beautiful Bayou Belles. So, as a coach, I'm really happy to see them just in such great sync. You know, they're doing everything as one, and they're just much better than I've seen them in the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, you know, as a coach and as an athlete, even though we would never put on the boots and skirts, we can appreciate the hard work that goes into that. You know, as people that do this for a living on a different way, you can appreciate the timing, the being in shape, the discipline it takes to put on a show.
And my first thing when I watched it was the fact that they were in sync. They're all very beautiful girls in their own way, and they're just having a lot of fun, and they do it tastefully, I must add, and they're just they're fun to look at also. There's no doubt about that. And they do a lot of things out in the community. So I just like watching them, and every time I get an opportunity to spend some time with one of them, you know, whether it's here on the set, when you let me stay, you know, I tell them how wonderful they are because they're doing things out in the community with the young kids. The kids love them as well as they love the Bucks. So, you know, thumbs up to them.
Okay, well, how are we doing now? Lake Charles, we're healthy, okay? I mean, you got to see what Coleman's doing.
Well, yeah, we're going to go day to day with Coleman, but with Doug, you know, we'll find out. But of course, we have Aubrey. But everyone else is pretty darn healthy, which is a blessing for us. But there may be a couple of new guys in the lineup this week, so we have to worry about that also. But we're going to do the best that we can to get them ready for the game.
Good luck this week, Coach. He's Coach. I'm Harry. See you at the game, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome into the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. It's Harry McCulla, along with the head coach of the Bucks, Coach Jack Phillips. 4 in a row, Coach. Got to feel pretty good.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you're smiling pretty good. You know, as I was starting to think about it, you know, we didn't do a preview show of that first game. So it must be now that you're kind of loosening up, doing the show here with us, and then taking it right to the field. You're undefeated since you've been doing the highlight show.
Yeah, absolutely. Undefeated since I've been doing the highlight show. Undefeated since we allowed the pink elephant to come on the bus with us. Undefeated since guys have been wearing the same underwear. We've got all kind of stuff going on. So whatever it is, everybody just keep doing the same thing.
The pink elephant, is that
That's a whole nother story. But we've got all kind of good luck charms now, but it's just the fact that the guys are applying themselves. We bring a couple new guys in, and then we're playing pretty darn well considering we had 12 injuries of guys that had to play while injured. So this bye week is just incredible for us. It's good timing.
Yeah, I thought it was great writing in the Courier, and they were saying it looked like a kindergarten. Everybody was on mats, and it looked like nap time at a kindergarten. Very, very descriptive of but you had guys who were banged up. They'd come in, lay in for a little while, then get up and go back out there and play.
And the emotions and just the courage, the adrenaline just wouldn't keep them from going back out there, and they all made big plays when they came back out on the field. Tim Betts, a warrior, just went the whole way for us, provided great leadership for us. So I'm just happy that we get an opportunity to heal up, because we got a big game coming in here with Tupelo. This whole division is just so tightly wound, and they're all playing good football. We're used to being at the bottom as far as divisions are concerned. You know, with maybe 1 or 2 good teams out of 5 or 6. But now I think all 5 teams in this Southern Atlantic division is really tough. So we don't have any time to you know, be happy about that one win. It's gone, and so we have to move on to the next one.
Right. All right, Coach, let's take a look at the video. And Lake Charles, and you had a good crowd that was showing up there. Huh?
Yeah, a real good crowd. And of course, there's Ryan Rogers with the one arm and tried to go with that thing there. And
play like a broken hand. First play from scrimmage, your defense steps up. Brian Sparacino, remember him? Former LSU backup, picked out by Leonard Mack.
Yeah, that's right, Leonard Mack, a new addition to us, did a great job for us, and probably is going to win that position.
Pretty good-looking player. Bucks try halfback pass. Whoa, what's going on there? Jarvis Dunn.
Jarvis done an excellent job right there. We told him if he didn't see anything to just take off and run it.
And did the smart thing. But on the goal line, the fumble exchange between Aubrey Jones and Darian Chestnut, and the Land Sharks recover.
Yeah.
But Sparacino's second pass, picked off by Drew Email.
Yeah, good job right there by Drew. Finally, Sparacino settled down. Still gave us some problems, but we were able to overcome that.
There's Drew's dad in the crowd. He's
Absolutely.
pretty pumped up.
Yeah.
The Bucks go on work on offense again. Jones to Devon Lockett. Whew, takes a shot from Anthony Porter, but he hangs on to the ball. Then you go with the reverse to Clint Shakespeare, who's taken down the collar. Maybe a face mask here, Coach.
Yeah, maybe. And I thought it was just so violently the way Darnell took him down, but and Clint is lobbying for it, but we didn't get it.
Then Jones to Dockett for the touchdown. This is Aubrey Jones, we should mention, in there for Doug Coleman early on.
Right, and you know, a lot of confidence in Aubrey and what he can do for the team. Of course, we didn't know how Doug was feeling, so if we needed him, we know he was there, and we turned out we did need him.
But then you got a snapper, got a deep snapper. You said Rogers trying to snap with a broken hand. A little problem on the PAT, but he would be a warrior for sticking in. Lake Charles playing it safe on offense, a short pass, but David Winbrush with the nice moves here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Those little guys can cut on a dime, and extremely talented right there, Mr. Winbush.
He Winbush pretty good, and here he goes left for the touchdown.
Ooh. What a great move. nice job by Tyrone Hughes right there, coming up and taking on the block. He just didn't have enough guys to float it to make a tackle right there.
So that was the end of the first quarter, so we moved to the second quarter, and Bucks on the goal line, and another fumble snap.
Yeah, a fumble snap. I just don't, you know, whether it's Aubrey Jones or whoever, we've been having problems down there in the red zone. Just can't seem to get it right.
And then there's Sparacino, this time deep pass to Jacoby Austin for a big gain. But Andre Reed's going to make a good play on defense.
Yeah, right here. What this is right here is what we call our Ricky Quick. And the Ricky Quick is defensive end take the quick in, and just perfect for the big guys because they can't keep up with him. What a great play right there by Andre.
He really is. Then you call for the Wizard of White Castle. That's Doug Coleman. And boy, Porter's dishing out another big hit, this time to Shakespeare. And you go for the field goal attempt, and the whistle's going to blow, but Lake Charles's Kendrell Shello comes through and kind of attacks Drew Email. No flag thrown. What the heck is going on? Email said, man, I don't know who this crazy fool was.
Yeah, and Drew.
Big guy. I guess when you're playing football, you kind of lose your mind. You don't hear this whistle or something like that. So, it was cool.
Yeah, and Drew's pretty competitive right there. And as you can see, he tears away from the doctors to go back to try to see if he can get some of Shello. But Shello's 6'5", about 300. I don't think, he want to deal with that off the field.
The Bucks made the field goal, but the Land Sharks would strike back, win Bush again for the touchdown. It's 13-9 Lake Charles. But here's a huge play. Land Sharks try for the field goal with less than a minute remaining, and watch Sullivan Beard.
Wow. Sullivan was one of those guys that, and we talked about it here, and he's just one of those guys that whenever he touches the football, he gets to change the game. And of course, right there, he gives it to a fan. This is an excellent young man off the field and on the field.
Yeah, what a great play. And that's got to give you a momentum boost as you go into the locker room, tied at 16.
Yeah, everything went right. And then, of course, we had to come back and have another big stop because they were able to get down inside the red zone again. And we stopped them there and allowed them just to have 3 points, which tied it at 16. So just big plays all the way around from a bunch of Warriors that are all beat up, and I just look forward to this off week so much.
Yeah, mentally and physically,
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. All right, drama in the second half, and we'll see it when we come back right here on the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Welcome back to the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. We're ready to hit the second half, and what was the message at halftime?
Just to keep doing I thought we did everything the way we wanted to do it. We really wanted to keep the game close because we were slacking in the lineman department. Just so many guys beat up on the offensive and defensive line that we couldn't get into the regular run and shoot type of atmosphere that we wanted to because we didn't want it to turn into a shootout. I mean, guys had to go off and on the field. So in terms of possessions, we just like to slow the possessions down, keep the play count down on both sides of football, and hopefully it would have been a 39-33 game. And that's what we wanted, and we got that, and along with that, we got our defense playing up to par, even though they were hurt. So it was just the same thing, just make sure that we have our technique together and stuff like that. The little things, but everything else as far as the game plan, everything pretty much stayed the same.
All right, well, let's take a look and see what happens in the second half as the Bucks come out. And some of the Bayou Belles made the trip. They were on the bus with you, and they were there. But on the goal line, the QB snuffed on 4th down there.
Tough.
So you had to keep battling. So Lake Charles on the goal line, and there's Leonard Mack again.
And him, Mack, and Timothy Best, what a great job those guys are doing in lane defense. Just so awesome. I mean, especially considering that our linebacker play have been suffering as of late here. So, the addition of Leonard Mack has done a good job for us.
And that made it a 3-point game, 19-16, but Coleman goes deep for Hurd, and there's your touchdown, 23-19.
Absolutely. Kevin Hurd is just on fire. Leads the league in touchdowns, I think 13. Doug Coleman leads the league in touchdowns with about 22, I think, or 23. And,
Sparacino comes right back to Austin. Good move there to break a pretty tough tackle, and then Winbush pushes it in. So it's 26-23 after the third quarter. We got to go to the fourth quarter. You got to have a comeback.
No doubt.
Coleman will go to Lockett. One-handed catch. Is that sweet?
Yeah, well, he does that all the time. I wanted to know if he was doing it on purpose. It's just a bunch of receiving guys right there, and he is giving the ball to his dad. And then, of course, a great kick by Chris Tupelo where we get the ball, actually.
Yeah, right.
So 3 or 4 big special teams play that we had. I didn't think we played awfully well on special team, but what a great job by making big plays on special team.
It led to a Sparacino Strapolo field goal. So it's 33-26, but you got to do some defense. It's Betts, stuffs Austin, then Mack and Reed.
Oh, my God, what a great stop. Just so awesome. These guys are putting it on the line.
A stop with less than 2 minutes to play, but the defense can't rest long because the Bucks give it right back to the 5-yard line.
This is when it gets interesting, Harry, because they just left the field and making an important stop, and then, of course, we give it right back.
Land Sharks punched it in, but Coleman to Hurd for the go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, and like I said, Kevin Hurd is on fire. He's doing a fantastic job. It's the best he's looked since I've known him.
But the PAT was blocked, so 1:08 left. There's Jacoby Austin. Nice return by him. He's a heck of a player.
What an awesome tackle right there, because without that tackle, they get in.
Right, and Winbush is open, but Sparacino can't get it to him.
Great job with knocking that ball out of his hand by Tim Betts.
Betts deflected, 17 seconds to go, 3rd down.
What a great job by Roger Green right there, containing, making sure the guy goes inside, tries to make a move and slips down. Great.
4th down, 10 seconds to go, Coach. Sparacino, back. Come on, defense. Knock it down. And they did, and it hits the turf. And you're pumped up. That flag, don't worry about that. That was for Holden. Afterward, Leonard, Mack, Drew Email, and the rest talk.
Playmakers on defense, and once they get to the goal line, like they stopped us on the goal line 3-4 times, so we had to top their defense. We stopped them at crunch time and got the win.
We did it once, we did it again. You know, we need to do that. You know, that's what our defensive team's all about. We fight hard. We ain't gonna stop. That's what we needed.
All of our games, except for when they came here, it's been intense, and that shows a lot of character for our team able to play in the 4th quarter.
This is a very important win for us. When we get to relax, get up out of it, you know, relax and come back and just be ready to play Tupelo, which is a very tough team right about now.
That was Kevin Hurd and Doug Coleman. And I think Hurd said it best. 4 wins, but almost 4 different ways you guys have found how to win these games.
Yeah, and I would like it that way all the time. You know, as a coach, you go in, you look for tendencies. If there's no tendencies, it's tough to prepare against you. And we pride ourselves on being able to step up 1 or 2 guys every week. And so it doesn't really matter how you win. I would rather win that particular way because we're going to have to win all different types of ways in order to win games down the line. So practice makes perfect, and every type of game that we can experience, the better it is for us when we get in that type of game. We'll find our niche sooner or later here, but as long as we're winning, we're able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. What about Coleman? Now, you got the Wizard. He's thrown more touchdown passes than anybody. He didn't start, but that was because he was banged up and you didn't know if he could actually go.
Well, we didn't know, and what a great person Doug Coleman is. Just so ironic that the difference between last year's quarterback and this year's quarterback is so much different. But Doug thought that Aubrey should start. He says he's just going to see how things feel and see if Aubrey can pull it out. If he can get the rest, we can get the rest. But if Aubrey has some problems, if he felt good, we'd go ahead and put him in, and it worked out to our advantage. And we knew that Doug could do it. We knew that Aubrey could carry us through. Actually, Aubrey is 10 for 14 for 75 yards anytime he touches the field. So he is not a Doug Coleman, but he is Aubrey Jones. So, and that's just the way life is, but I'd rather have those 2 guys than any other 2 guys.
Right, great asset to have a great backup like that, or 1 and a 1A, maybe
Absolutely.
we should call him.
Right.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, special guest, one of his former teammates was at the game. We'll talk to Michael Lewis when we come back on this edition of the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show. Welcome back to the Bayou Bucks Highlight Show, and we're talking with Coach Phillips, 4 in a row. But it wasn't, you know, a perfect game. There's always things to improve on. But I guess you always like when guys will play with broken hands. You did have some problems with a few of